Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on? Welcome to the live stream. It's Monday the 24th. How's everyone doing? Is anyone else as hot as I am? Oh my god, I've been sweltering. About to take my waterproofs off today. I've been going waterproofless. It's been so warm. We've been doing a secret project this morning. It's been I had to get up at 5:15 this morning to get this morning's job done before the sun came up. I'll show you guys some pictures in just a minute. Chatting to Ryan from Kirbside cleaning today. I'm just going to write some bits down. Just give me 2 seconds. Hello, Corion Cleaning. VXR, welcome. DJ Smell. Matt, how you doing? It's that time of week it is. Richard, how's it going? Yeah, you're fangirling. For Ryan. My turbo got blocked up today. It was it's been like playing up for a couple of days. I can hear the machine not pulsing, but the machine was, the revs were going up and down very slightly, but I realised it's because every time I start the machine up, the turbo's like almost blocked, and then today it fully blocked and it wasn't spinning around no matter what I tried. Kept trying to sort of bash it on the floor, and I need to sit down and take it apart and stuff. But Oliver, welcome. How you doing? Russ, you alright, mate? Jamie, what's going on? Everyone happy? Has it been a good start to the week? Should we see if Ryan's about? Usually I like to do a little test call before we get into it, but Ryan assures me he's got some fancy new internet. How do I drag him down? Ryan, can you join the invite only chat, or do I have to pull you into it? Can you join one of the voice channels so I can pull you down? I'm going to jump in. Synergy Pro, how do you quote for gutter and fascia clean? I do around about £45 a side. £40 for vacuuming, £45 for the gutter fascia soffit wash, roughly. Hello, mate. Can you hear me? Pull that up, do that. Turn my camera on. Turn that on. And then... Hey, I can see you. I can see you. I can't quite hear you yet, though. You look absolutely hench. Still can't hear you, but I'm just going to compliment you. Let's move that over. Uncleanables podcast. Good evening, Glenn. Welcome. How you doing? The Lawn Ranger. You might find that Ryan's slightly different on pricing. He's got some good insight into pricing if we get into all that sort of stuff in a bit. But I think you have me. I've got you muted. I'm so sorry. Why would I mute you? No, you're not muted. No. Have you turn off microphone? Oh, I know what I might need to do. I might need to just go in and very quickly change my audio settings. I'm very sorry, mate. It's probably my end. Earphones. Can you hear me now? Your voice isn't even coming up when
I can hear you.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you now. Woohoo!
Hang on.
Your voice isn't even coming up when
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I can hear you now.
Are you getting repeat?
Your voice isn't even coming up. Can you hear me? No. Yeah, there you go. I can hear you now.
Are you getting repeat?
Your voice isn't
Right. I need to work out how to.
I've muted you for just a second until you give me the thumbs up to say you've sorted it. You might need to go into your Discord settings and just change your voice thing.
Right. Discord
Oh, that's better.
settings. Yeah, I've just muted my screen.
Yeah, I can hear
my computer.
Perfect.
Yeah, are we good?
We're good, I think, yeah.
Right, let me pull up the old YouTube so I can see what everyone's saying.
Welcome, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going good, my man. How's
Good.
things with you?
Hot. I'm hot.
Oh, mate, it's been brutally
Yeah.
hot today.
I'm busy. I'm overwhelmed. I'm ignoring phone calls. Are you busy?
So I'm like overly busy, but I've decided that now is a great time to do my van build. So on Thursday last week, I ripped everything out my van, so it was completely empty. I've painted the floor with protector coat. I've then reinstalled my window cleaning tank, my double hose reel, my pump controller for the time being, and I'm building my pressure washing setup into that van as well. But I'm trying to do that around work, and I've got like a wedding a week for the next 8 weeks. So like I'm only working 4 days a week. I've got Friday weddings, Saturday weddings.
No way.
So finding the time to do it is like.
So is that your only van at the moment, the one that you're working on?
Yeah.
No way. So you're juggling all that. Mate, I can't even find 5 minutes in the morning to pull the sand in and out of the van and just like move things around. It's so cramped in there at the moment.
I think that's crazy because I look at your van and I think you've got so much room. I watched your video earlier and it just looks like you've got loads of room.
Yeah, I mean it's not as organised as I'd like yet. We've got 2 machines in there at the moment and two buffer tanks, 2 massive hose reels, and like it's all just a bit much. And we haven't really found a spot for everything just yet. It's sort of just hanging around in there.
I think you need to get some shelving installed.
Yeah, at the moment,
100%.
all of my stuff is just in sort of boxes. I actually, my gutter vacuum is the only thing separating all my other bits from my exhaust on the back of my machine. I've got an exhaust that sort of bends around the back, and if I put my gutter vacuum there, it's metal. Everything's fine, but it slipped.
It's really hot.
Well, I accelerated the other day. The gutter vacuum slipped backwards. The boxes fell onto the exhaust, and then I didn't realise, and I started my machine up, ran it for like 15 minutes.
Oh,
it melted all the boxes.
Yeah, it'll do that.
And as I was pulling the boxes up, I touched my arm on them, and I've got black hot plastic stuck to my arm, and I've had to like peel it off, and it's burnt all the back of my arm. It's just
that's brutal. Did you not? How comes you went for 2 machines rather than mounting 2 engines onto your frame and doing it that way?
That's a very good question.
Because I'd have thought, from your point of view, you'd have the 2 engines. So I mean, you can still do it. You're just going to have a leftover frame, but you'd mount the 2 engines side by side, 2 reels on top, and then just a bigger water tank at the back. And then probably run the low pressure hose out the back doors or something, so they're away from the exhaust.
I hadn't thought of that, but that's a class idea. The reason we went for not another van mounted machine, it was just for like a bit of versatility. If we had a weird job where we had to take the machine around the back.
Why I'm keeping hold of my old machine for that reason.
Yeah, although it's still a big beefy machine to be sort of carting around the back of someone's house. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Alternatively, as a percentage of how many jobs are going to be that awkward, would it be more cost effective to have done it that way and just added like another 30-meter extension hose for that odd job where it is a bit awkward?
Yeah, because you don't have to have it you don't have to have like 100-meter hose all the time. You could just, like you say, just have an extension that you pop on when there's a weird job that comes in.
But on the upside, he's ready to be sent out in his own van. Oh,
Yes.
Jakey.
Yeah.
So there's that upside to it.
Yeah, he's impressed me so much.
He looks like he works hard.
He does. He works hard. Every time I tell him to like stop and have 5 minutes, go and get a drink of water, and if there's something I'm doing, if I'm putting some hypo down, or if there's something he can't do, if there's nothing he can do while I'm doing something, I'll say, go and just sit down in the van and have a little break. And he won't.
Yeah, it's nice. I work with Dan quite regularly.
Yeah.
And Dan's very much the same. He's he's a very hard worker, but there is a certain amount of pressure washing work that only requires one person, such as putting down hypo, or, I mean, 2 of you can sweep, but it's probably more efficient for one sweeping, one scooping, things like that. So it's nice to have 2 machines, but then at the same time, there is a certain percentage of that job that only one of you can do at a time.
Yeah, and he just keeps himself busy. He's moving the plant pots. He's wiping the windows down. He's tidying up the van or cleaning off some of the equipment that we've used. He's constantly doing something. It's so nice to have.
And may it last for a long time.
Yeah,
for you.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, he's been a massive help recently.
He looks like he's settled in well. I think the biggest thing with this industry is finding people that enjoy it, because although I love it, but I can see why people wouldn't love it. It's mucky work like today. I mean, it was 23 degrees with us, but it felt more like 33.
Yeah,
and it's uncomfortable. If you're not wet from pressure washing, you're wet from sweating.
Yep.
And you got covered in muck. You find it in your ears and your hair 3 or 4 days after you finished.
The stamina involved in doing a job like that as well, while you're hot and sweaty and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Looking absolutely. Up and knowing that you've got like another 150 square meters to clean before you can pack up. I think it surprised him a little bit. Like, he's a big lad and he goes to the gym regularly, and I think it surprised him a little bit with the gutter poles, the vacuum poles, and like, it's
a different kind of strength, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So I go to the gym. I try to go to the gym.
You look daily, like it. You're huge,
but my elbows and shoulders just hurt all the time, and I'll train. I don't train elbows, but I'll train shoulders in the gym on the same day I clean a roof, and I'm not fatigued at all. It's a completely different muscle.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like the angles, like you're always angled one way or another, and it's just completely a lot of ab work, isn't it?
Yeah. And to be fair to him as well, some of the stuff that I'm using isn't like, for example, my gardener pole, my water fed pole, it's the cheapest one you can buy on the gardener website. So if I had like a better, stiffer, lighter one. No, it's just I think it's the fiberglass carbon composite. Yeah, it's very whippy. It's bendy. It's
heavy.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah, I've got a couple that I bought for roof scraping, just so I had them, and I've broken the top clamp on both of them, so they're not in action at the moment. But you notice the difference when you switch from one to the other. It's crazy how heavy they are and you pick one up, you don't think it's that heavy. And particularly if you haven't got water running through it. So I was using it for roof scraping. So I didn't have any water running through a pipe through the middle. So it was as light as it was going to get. And then you switch to the carbon poles, and the carbon poles feel like nothing.
Do any of yours have like a funny shaped pole where it doesn't bend? Like some of them are like oval or hexagon shaped, aren't they?
I started with my very first water fed pole was the over 8, which is sort of like if you type to 0 on a typewriter, so it's flat sides and then curved at the top and bottom. But since then I've had all my poles custom made.
Have you?
Yeah, so they're all of mine. I haven't got one in here, but they're all custom made
to have all your logo and stuff on them.
Yeah, all my logo on. And the factory that make my poles, they did make the poles for Gardner, and they currently make the poles for Ionic, I believe.
Because I always wonder how different all these poles are.
They're the same.
Are they?
They're the same. Yeah. So I was talking to the fella that manufactures mine, and they had the they had the contract with Gardner, so my pole now is the same as the Gardner poles from a couple of years ago, I believe. And Gardner have gone to a different manufacturer now, but so one of my clamps broke on mine, and I said, I need a clamp. And he said, well, I can't just send you a clamp. It's going to cost you so much money in shipping and all that. He said, go to Gardner's website and buy a clamp. So £9, bought one, went straight on. So they're completely interchangeable, but it was a slightly different clamp. So obviously they can change the design, the look of it to make it look like their pole, but ultimately carbon fibre is carbon fibre.
Yeah.
And they make it in gloss or they make it in matte. And that's your difference.
I had a message today about gutter vacuum poles, and someone said they've had carbon fibre ones and they require so much maintenance and care, and they get very worn very quickly, and they were asking if I'd recommend the aluminium ones, and I said, well, I've not had a problem with mine for 2 years. Like, if
Depends on how much you like your shoulders though, doesn't it?
Yeah. What have you found? Are you working with carbon fibre gutter poles as well?
Yeah, I've had the car. So I bought my Skyvac Atom, the small one, and I had the push fit carbon poles, and they were fine, but obviously, like I'm 6 foot. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet. I'm 6'3". I weigh nearly 16 stone, so I've got a bit of force behind me trying to pull them apart. Even then, I struggled a couple of times, and I'm terrible at keeping my equipment clean. I can imagine if you cleaned it after every job, you'd have half the trouble that I had with them.
He said he couldn't get them apart after the jobs.
But then I bought my Skyvac Industrial, the 85, the silver one, and I bought that with the Elite poles, which are the ones you pop in and you close the clamp.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had the same issue with them.
Have you? Carbon fibre as well?
Yeah, and I know people that have had similar issues with the aluminium ones, but I just think they're slightly easier to keep clean. So when dirt dries on the aluminium, it's a case of brushing it off. But when it dries on the carbon fibre, which is it's a bit softer, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sort of sticks to it a little bit more.
And do you find that it scratches when you because I found my my roof cleaning high pressure pole from gutter vacuum systems.
Yeah.
If I get grit, that's carbon fibre, and if I get grit in that, it's like scratching. It's horrible to pull in and out, and so I've got to like really clean it all out and grease it up and stuff.
Yeah, I found the same thing with that. It's annoyingly, like we spoke about this topic on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, I think, or might have been last week. And Dan's very much, he looks after all of his equipment and he'll clean it after every job and whatnot. Whereas I look at it more as just a work tool, and when it gets to that point, that's when I'll clean it.
Yeah,
which is probably the wrong way to go about it. But then I'm more about volume over quality sort of thing. So I'll just get as many jobs out of it as I can, and once it breaks, I'll just replace it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've had my aluminium poles for about 2 years now, and
they're going to be bulletproof, aren't they? They're aluminium.
They're a bit dinged. They're a bit dinged where I've dropped them in certain places, but nothing like that stops me using them.
You'd probably be able to run it over and it'd be fine. Whereas if you step on a carbon one, they snap and they're 4 or 5 times as expensive.
Yeah,
I think I broke one of my carbon ones the other day. It was on and again, this is the pro and the con. So I was it was a really, really wide conservatory. So I was getting to this gutter, and the gutter had one of those metal nettings to stop it was to stop the roof tiles falling down. So the gutter was on my side. So getting into the gutter wasn't the problem, but it was filled with thick, soiled, weeds and whatnot. So as you'll know, when you get hold of it, it's sort of like you've got to fish it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing that, and the weight of it was so heavy and it was so far away, the first pole that I'm holding snapped in half.
Really?
Now, I think they're about 190 quid plus the VAT or something like that.
Whereas
you wouldn't have that with an aluminium
one.
Yeah, you wouldn't have that with an aluminium one, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to have used an aluminium one on that job. It was so far. I think I was 6 poles extended.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And 45-degree angle, so it's not like you're up.
Yeah.
It would have been brutal with an aluminium pole.
Those they're like snow guards, aren't they? Above conservatories, normally they'll have Some schools have them just generally across the whole thing.
A lot of the schools I've worked on have had them, to stop tiles falling on kids' heads, isn't they?
Yeah, it's such a difficult clean when you see those. Like the two things with gutters, the gutter hedgehogs, having to remove all those and clean them, and then the snow guards just make clearing gutters very, very difficult.
I heard what you said on your latest video about the gutter guards. You put them back?
I advise customers that they're a waste of time, and I say,
refuse to put them back.
Do you actually?
Yeah, I won't put them back.
I've said this to like 2 or 3 customers, but they've spent so much money on them, they want them back up there. And I'm like, well, look, I've got to charge you considerably more to take them down, clean them, put them back up.
I think as well, like the reason I don't put them back is because, one, they might not use me again, but they will have to have someone back within the year to clear them out again, because the growth will just come back.
Yeah.
They're like the perfect breeding ground.
Yeah.
They couldn't be any better. That's what makes me laugh.
Yeah, they seem like a good idea at first glance, but when you pull one out that's been in there for 12 months on like an area with lots of overhanging foliage, it's like you say, it's just a breeding ground for roots and moss and bugs and insects and stuff.
Me and Dan done a job just over a year ago, and he had roughly 400 meters of gutter, and he'd had these gutter guards put in 18 months previously, and the amount of growth. And this was a 3-story house, so there wasn't overhang. There was a lot of trees, but there was no overhang because the house was so tall. And luckily he didn't want them back in, but not that I would have done it anyway. But
doing that job anyway, 400 meters worth of gutters anyway, let alone being 3-story, makes it incredibly difficult. Let alone then having all those gutter hedgehogs in them, like that.
It wasn't a nice job.
Did he know they were in there when he quoted it?
Yeah. The house was only about 18 months old. He had the whole thing rebuilt, but he'd been sold these gutter hedgehogs, and whoever installed them fucking had it off. That was a good day's work for him. Yeah, but they're just. And I've booked him in on a 6-monthly clean now, because where he lives is like in the woods. He's the last house on an unmade road, so there's a lot of trees. But although the house is taller than the tree line, they do get a lot of leaves in them blown into them. So I just said I'll do him 75 quid every 6 months, which is cheap, but it means that his gutters are empty. The cost he paid for the gutter guards was 10 times that. Yeah. So he's going to have 5 years before he's even paid for the cost of the gutter guards.
I want to get into this in a bit if you've got time, but you seem to be very good at...
I've got all night, mate.
Have you? You seem to be good at getting that repeat custom, upselling maintenance.
So I try to view customers, right? And I think this is a brilliant way for anyone listening to look at their customer list. And more so for your customers, because I think a lot of them don't do the regular window cleaning. I think we had a chat in the Discord a few weeks ago. Try and look at your customers on a yearly price rather than, as for me, it would be a monthly price. So I might book someone in on a £20 a month window clean. But for me, even just on the window clean, that customer's worth £240 a year to me. Then I try to get each customer worth £500 a year. So on top of the windows, I want to try and get a gutter empty once a year or once every other year, patio clean once a year or every other year, driveway clean every couple of years or whatever. And depending on the type of customer, type of house, we'll start from the roof and we'll work down to the driveway. We also do the carpets as well. So we try and incorporate that where we can, but less and less people have carpets now.
That's where your brochure probably comes in quite handy. You made that brochure a while back, didn't you?
Yes, yeah. So every new customer gets a brochure, and then we say to them, have a read for it, when you're on the toilet or whatever, and let us know if we can help you. And then once or twice a year, we'll send out a text message to everyone and just say, sort of come the winter time, we'll try and hit the carpets more. End of summer, we might do the gutters. and just send out a text message. I've done a text message just before Christmas for gutters and soffice and fascias, and that turned into nearly £2,000 worth of work.
Yeah. Have you found that people are referencing your brochure when they get back in touch with you? Like, I saw this in your brochure.
A few of them, yeah, a few of them. So historically I didn't really do it, but I've recently started doing dropping the brochure to a house like either side. So recently I've had a lot more. Oh, hi, you popped your brochure through my door earlier. Yeah. Can I have a quote for this? But I've been inundated with repeat custom this sort of month or two. So I've had, not that I've not had time to get back to my inquiries. I follow up all my inquiries, but if they don't get back to me, I might not
chase
follow
them
up again. Yeah, because I'm busy. Like, I'm fully booked for the next 4 weeks as of right now, and then I think I've got a week where I've only got 2 days work.
Yeah,
but because I'm booking for 4 weeks, I've got the next 4 weeks to fill that week up.
Yeah,
and it won't take that long. But
I'm booked for till the second week of August now after tonight, and it's just pressure washing and like conservatories, gutters, fascias, soffits, all that sort of stuff.
That's beautiful. So arguably that's way busier than me, because I've got a lot of window cleaning days in there as well. So how are you marketing?
I'm not, and I feel like there's a lot more that I could be doing, but I'm over capacity at the moment as to where I can put my attention. I've had did Moshe get in touch with you?
Yeah, literally an hour ago.
Oh, good. Because
I've sent him over some. He's spoke about the same deal that you're on, but
yeah,
as I said to you, we're looking to take a different route with it. So I've thrown him some information, and I'll wait to hear back.
Yeah, I'm supposed to have another video out by the end of this month, and I keep having to tell him, look, I'm really sorry, I'm struggling to even just do what I'm doing day to day, let alone anything else.
It's tough. I haven't got any YouTube videos now.
You've been very consistent though.
I have been very consistent, and I must say the views have been incredible.
I was just about to congratulate you on.
Thank you.
I don't know whether it's it's clearly the content, but I think your thumbnails are probably driving a lot of the initial clicks, and then they're sticking around for you.
It's the content, man. It's the content.
Well, they're sticking around for you're a fairly new channel, really, in the grand scheme of YouTube.
I don't know how I think it's the same age as yours. About 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your views are just insane.
So I've had about nearly 1 million views this year, but before then I was only on 1 million views. So 1 million views for 2 years.
Yeah.
Has now turned into 1 million views in 6 months. But then I think you've got to expect some sort of snowballing in that aspect. But what I'd done at the start of this year, so before, I mean, it's my channel set up very differently to yours, but I was doing similar to you, where I was filming a job a week and then putting it out. But I didn't have, I wasn't giving away information as much. You know, it was more just about the pressure washing. So the YouTube for me has always been a second form of income. That's what I want from it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking to, I'm not looking to say to people, I'm the best guy in the world. Like, I will go and do work for free if I think it's going to get a lot of views and it'll pay me.
Yeah.
If I don't think that, I'm not going to do it. But what I was doing before is I was just putting out a video a week. And this year I changed. So I was talking to Jake from Diamond Exterior Cleaning, and he's had an incredible year. So he started back up after having like 1.5 years off, and he's done, I think, nearly 4 million views this year. Insane. Like, he's had 3 or 4 videos over 500,000 views.
Yeah.
But we both sort of was talking about it when he started up, and it was a case of deciding whether you want to be consistent or you want good quality content.
That's my issue.
But I think for your channel, being consistent is much more important, because you offer the membership group.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm just putting out something just to be consistent, and that's painful, because I want to put out quality content, but it's very difficult to do that once a week, every week.
But then arguably, do you think that, just playing devil's advocate here, I'm not trying to shit on your parade, but if you put out so you saw the playground school that I done,
mm-hmm.
if you put out that style of video, your key audience, I mean, the guys that are watching this live stream now, I would describe as your key audience. They would watch it, but they're not going to get the same. It's a different kind of video to what you normally put out.
It's more for the masses rather than the niche.
Exactly. And I think you're obviously very good at the niche at the moment.
Yeah.
And finding that so I was doing that before, so I'd done a few how-to videos which do all right, and again I was putting out content just to show my face. And it took me a good 6 months to flip that back around, because I was getting a few thousand views a video or whatever, and the community aspect of it was great, but YouTube just weren't pushing it.
Yeah.
And then once I flipped that on its head and decided, like from day dot, it was always, I want revenue from this. And as much as I like, you know, helping people out if they message me, I've always got time for people to do that. But it's a different type of help when you've got people from all over the world asking you questions.
Yeah. So,
and I couldn't give that level of attention to it. So I decided to just go with the aesthetic ASMR, you know, style of video.
It's so difficult because I have lent into the sort of help and advice side of things rather than the satisfying content so much. I get maybe 4 messages a day from, like, on WhatsApp, where people have just found my number, Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and people are, you know, constantly asking me questions. If I put a story up on Facebook, I get like 10 people asking me what nozzle I'm using, what I'm, you know. And I've had to just make this copy and paste template where I say, look, I'm sorry, I can't answer all these questions that are coming in. Just join the live stream on Monday night and we'll go through it, because this is my time of the week where I can dedicate. You know. Yeah,
this time last year, that's what I was getting, and I've met some brilliant people that I talk to regularly now, like. And I love it, but I just don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
And trying to focus on building your own business, whilst, like, and the YouTube side of things is a business in its own. And I think anyone who doesn't treat it as a business in its own are the ones that don't grow.
Yeah.
And once I flipped that thought process on its head, that's when the views started coming in.
Can you tell me exactly? You don't have to share everything, like, but what are you doing differently? Is it creating like more of a story with the video, or is it just focusing more on the satisfying shots?
So I don't really have a process to it, but what I have done is not filmed 8 or 9 jobs this year that would have probably made good content, but not great content. So they were a good transformation, but they just didn't fit the wow factor.
Yeah.
And even then, there's a couple that I've uploaded. So I started doing one a week because I had a lot of work. And now, so I'd done the school and left that 2 weeks. That's on nearly 100,000 views now.
Really? Jesus.
Yeah, it's like 92 or 93, something like that. And then I done the church, and that came out last Saturday. Yeah, 92,000, 92.7. And now I haven't got anything to film.
Yeah.
And I've got nothing in the tank.
I'm just worried that if I don't do it every week, the algorithm's just going to sort of drop me and no one will be able to find me anymore.
I thought, like, that was a worry for me. And it's still, even now I've decided not to do it. It still plays on my mind.
Yeah.
But then going back to Jake from Diamond Exterior Cleaning, he hadn't uploaded a video in like 18 or 19 months. His first video that he uploaded done 360,000 views.
It's just about making a banger, and it just, if you could do it maybe once a month, just make an absolute banger, and
it will get views.
Yeah,
it will get views. But like, there's a different. I think there's a different audience for people. Like the video you put out earlier, I enjoyed that, but I enjoy watching those videos. But the people that want to see the super satisfying transformations with the crazy before and afters and the big sloppy cleanup, that's not going to be their cup of tea.
There weren't none of it in there really. There wasn't any of those shots that would be classed as satisfying. It was just basically a time lapse and some information over the top. But
then answer me this, right? And answer honestly if you can. Do you think it's because you're too busy? You're just putting a time lapse video up?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm the day is busy. And then on top of that, I'm trying to find something to record, and
recording it longer.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it makes the job longer. Yeah, and it's rubbish to say this in front of my main audience that tune in every week and stuff. But
yeah, they love it, mate. They love the honesty.
It's very difficult to juggle all those different roles when you're trying to run a business at the same time.
But you probably get it as well. I get a lot of messages from people asking about starting YouTube.
Yeah.
And I've started saying to them now, before I give you any advice, upload 10 videos.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
And that's bled out for me to people I went to school with who are like carpenters, electricians who have wanted to start it. Because I'm very honest with what I earn from YouTube. Doesn't bother me at all. But they see the money, or I tell them about the money, and they go, I could do an extra grand a month or 1,500 quid a month. And I go, upload 10 videos. And they don't.
Yeah. Well, it's consistency again. Is I was trying to tell my sister the other day. Anything you do in life that you want to be successful at, I think initially the key is consistency, and no excuses about I need to wait for this, or the camera on my phone isn't great, I need to buy a camera. Or there's a fantastic video from Forever Self-Employed, who just absolutely nails it, and it's like I was waiting for my life to start, basically, because I didn't have something, and I was always chasing. I was never ready because I was always chasing that next thing that was going to make me ready. He articulates it much better, but
no, but it's true. Like, and I think as well, I think we might have touched on this last time I was on the live stream. I think people are afraid to commit, and this goes to like whether you're starting a business or starting a YouTube, whatever it is you want to start. They're afraid to commit, so they want to dip their toes in for free. So they'll film it on their iPhone and they'll edit it on an app that's free. And as much as you can make a good video that way, but when we're talking, I mean, short videos, completely different game. But long form videos filmed on an iPhone, edited on a free app, just don't have the same hit rate. They just don't have the quality there. And for 300 quid, I mean, I know there's free software for editing videos on a computer, and the DJI Action 4, the camera I most recently bought, I think it was 260 quid minus a memory card. But that is an incredible camera.
That's the one I'm using right now. Yeah.
It is so good. And for that sort of, I mean, it's got a resale value of at least 230 in it if you don't get on with it.
Yeah.
200 quid. For the sake of that, give it a go.
This is great because me and you, I think, are total opposites when it comes to. I'm super tight and I'm trying to do everything like that guy that you just described, trying to do everything cheap and free, dip my toes in, not fully commit. But you're an advocate of, if you're going to do it properly, spend the money, get the right kit, and because if you're not doing that, I think I'm paraphrasing, but what you said last time, if you're not doing that, then you're not committing yourself, you're not fully committed.
No, and I've gone through this recently, so I don't know how far away from VAT registration you are, but I mean, technically I hit it a little while ago, but I'm going VAT registered on September the 1st, and I've been absolutely putting it off for as long as I can, because I'm scared that I'm going to lose all my customers and I'm not going to get any new work because I'm going to be too expensive. And I'm not upping my prices, I'm just adding the VAT to them. And I've been losing sleep over it, I've been stressing. And I sent a text out to all my customers and none of them have cancelled yet. And quite a few of them I've seen and they've gone, oh, when's the price going up? Has it started yet? I'm like, no, not till September. And they they congratulate me, and I'm waiting for for
The
the volcano
kickback,
to
yeah.
explode. Yeah,
And
and
these
it's
are
just not coming.
these are the regular customers that already have a set price every month as to what they pay you,
Yeah,
and you've
yeah. And
increased it by 20%.
a few of them will have to go up because. So I've got a couple of flats in at like 10 quid a month. So I'm putting in a minimum charge in of £15 plus VAT a month. So they'll go up £8, which I explained on the text message. So all being well, they've read it and don't care. But I still think some of them read it and will drop off. But
I've got lots more questions, but I think we skipped the whole introduction. Do you want to just first of all, can you see the live stream chat?
I can, yeah, I've got it up in front of me.
I don't know if you want to let people know who you are.
I'm Ryan.
We've
Ryan
skipped all
from
that.
Kirbside Cleaning. Yeah, I am a 2-time Jake Smelt live stream champion. We have great fun on here. If anyone's got any questions for me, feel free to fire them away.
Yeah.
So I've seen one. I will answer it now. Less and less have carpets. Have you thought about hard surface indoor cleaning too? I do that. It's just people think that they use their steam machine and it keeps it clean forever. So I like to offer a free little test patch when I do stuff like that, and the difference is insane. But yeah,
hard surface indoor cleaning, just like laminate cleaning and
laminate, lino. We can do natural wood, but it's a little bit more specialist.
And are you still even with your new van build, are you still having to pull stuff out and put your carpet cleaning setup in?
No, so I don't know. Did I have the new van last time we spoke?
I can't remember. I saw it in one of your videos, and I saw all your sign writing and stuff that you had done.
Yeah, so I had 2 Transit Customs. I had one solely for the carpet cleaning, and then one for the exterior stuff. And that worked fine, but I was keeping all the gear in the vans because this garage I'm in now was filled top to bottom with equipment. So what I'd done is found a local warehouse. So I've got a warehouse which is now filled top to bottom as well. But once I got the warehouse, both the vans were sitting on the drive empty, and I didn't actually need 2 vans. So I got rid of the 2 vans. I got the one big van, and then I built shelving in the van to hold all the chemicals and like sprayers and stuff like that. So when I was doing a carpet job, all I needed to load into the van was the machine, the Hoover, potentially the rotary machine, if depending on what we were doing, and a couple of other bits, hoses and stuff. So it became a case of I would unload that after every job anyway. And then if I had a carpet job, I'd just go to the unit and load up the equipment, and I had the room on the van. Now that I'm putting the van mount in, I think I might be going back to the point where, so I don't think my ladders are going to fit in, but I have to test that. I'm going to put shelving on both sides, so there'll be double the amount of shelving. But then I should only need to put the gutter vac, the carpet machine will be the only things that I load onto the van, because the pressure washer will be mounted, window cleaner stuff's mounted. I'm also putting a soft wash system in as well.
Yeah.
So a van mounted soft wash system. So I won't need any backpacks or dosatrons or anything like that for biocide, TFR, hypo. It can all be switched out.
You don't do any of your carpet cleaning on YouTube, do you?
No, I did when I first started, but it just doesn't perform very well. I think I've done like three videos. I got combined less than 1,000 views between all 3 of them. I think with YouTube, what I've learned, and like when I started, it was pressure washing. Then I threw in some carpet cleaning. Then I've done a couple of like soffit and fascia jobs just to get a video out, and again, doesn't perform. Roof cleaning got thrown in there at one point. They were all right, but not amazing. And what I found was you need to double down on a niche. So if it's a pressure washing channel, just do pressure washing. If I'm going to do carpet cleaning, I have to start another channel, which I'm not going to do. But
yeah, that's a good point actually, because that's what people are tuning in for. There's a guy that I watched, the drain cleaning Australia guy, and he's literally just cleaning drains, and it's amazing content.
And you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
If he started washing a house, I mean, we'd probably still watch it, but if he started washing a house, most of the people that watch him, which wouldn't tune in, there'll be a number that does because they like him.
Yeah.
But I think that comes down the line as you grow an audience. At the early stages, you need to give people what they want.
Yeah. So as well as your YouTube channel, you've also got a second channel, the Uncleanables podcast.
We do, yes, indeed. We have the podcast,
and you do that with your colleague. What was your colleague's name again? Sorry, Dan.
Dan does that with me. Yeah, he started off as a handyman. So originally, although it's called the Uncleanables, it was going to be anything from cleaning to handyman stuff. But not that I'm taking anything away from Dan, but it was like I'm the driver behind it, and where I'm quite social with the pressure washing community, cleaning community. A lot of the guests we had, a lot of the people watching it were people from my side of things.
Yep.
So that just sort of bled into the whole thing, and obviously it's called the Uncleanables. So we decided again just to niche down and just keep it to cleaning. And since then, Dan's actually invested into. I mean, he had a gutter vac, but he's got a pressure washer now. He's just bought a load of window cleaning stuff, so he can be doing windows, soffits and fascias, cladding, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I suppose he's seen potentially all the success that you're having, and
yeah,
you're probably good.
Doing a lot of he was doing a lot of what does he call it? Like minimum charge stuff. So call out stuff. So his call out was £75, and his days consisted of 2 or 3 call out jobs, which is still good money, but he has seen the light almost, and since he started doing the more cleaning stuff, his ticket price has gone up.
Yeah, well, the potential profit with exterior cleaning, as you know, can be pretty wild once you've paid for all your equipment.
He's very much like you, like low geared, wants to own all of his equipment, doesn't want any finance, so profit for him is obviously a lot better than it is for me. So yeah, he's doing great at the moment.
Good. We'll get back to some questions in a second, but you've come on here specifically today with a little something in that you wanted to talk about. Yes.
So do you want to start by going onto the website and just playing? Can you do that? Can you get the screen up and play the welcome video, which I believe is on the home screen?
Is it the enter now, or do I scroll down?
Hang on, I'm just checking on my end. So there's a little video. It should be a little video just below that. On my screen, it shows a little laptop, but if you press play,
I got it.
It should show. Welcome.
You happy for me to play just now with the volume up?
Absolutely. Go for it. Hello and welcome to the Cleaning Industry Awards. I'm Ryan, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to these awards where we celebrate excellence, innovation and dedication to the cleaning industry. These awards were created to shine a light on all the hard-working individuals and companies who go above and beyond for their customers. It's a way for them to shine in front of their competition on those who don't go the extra mile. The Cleaning Industry Awards are more than just trophies and accolades. They're a testament to what drives our industry forward and make us stand out from the rest. They inspire us all to reach new heights of excellence and innovation. From implementing cutting-edge technologies or building your own systems to maintaining impeccable levels of cleanliness, all whilst growing your own business. All the nominees have set the bar high for what can be achieved in this field. To all the entrants, your work has not gone unnoticed. From customer service all the way down to the practices that you preach on a daily basis. Whether you're a winner or a runner-up, we want to share your story and inspire others to do better in this industry. To those considering entering, we encourage you to put forward your best work, your efforts of sustainability, your innovations, and your best customer services. Let's continue to push the boundaries of what's possible in the cleaning industry. And remember, if you don't enter, you can't win. For each category, there's going to be one winner of 4 runners-up. All of those people will get digital assets to use on their social medias, websites, and allow them to showcase how they've achieved such greatness in the cleaning industry. For the winners, you can get a trophy just like this. That can be ordered after you win from our website. The awards are going to be judged on several factors. Now, we love an absolutely shiny van and a brand new hotbox mounted in the back, but that is not always what the customer looks for. We're going to be judging these awards based on the customer. So we're looking for customer satisfaction, quality of work, testimonials, things along those lines. You can download our guidelines on the website just above the entry form. You can also download it from the email you'll get sent after you enter. This will give you a list of stuff that you can use to enter the awards and stand out from the competition. Thank you and welcome to the Cleaning Awards.
That's awesome, mate. So
yeah.
So do you send, when you enter, is it based on one job, one customer, or is it like a general overall?
So we're going for a general overall as a business. So I mean, if you want, we can go through, not like a whole entry because there's a lot to it, but if you go to the website and just click the enter now button,
yeah,
and that'll take you to any of them. They'll take you to the contact page. The beautiful few pictures of me there. Right, so the idea is if you click on download guidelines there, so you'd enter filling in that contact form, you choose what category you want to go for. You can enter multiple categories, but we expect multiple entries for multiple categories.
So first of all, this is like a recognised digital certificate with a physical award.
If you want one, you can get a physical award. Yes, I've got one here. These will just be offered to the winners after. You don't have to get one of these. And again, it's completely free to enter. I'm not going to be making any money off this at the moment. I might do in the future, but at the moment, it's just going to be completely free to enter. Once you've entered, you'll get emailed that set of guidelines. But if you click on that set of guidelines, it'll give you an idea of what we're looking for when we enter. So this idea came to me because what I wanted to do is I wanted to call myself Essex's #1 pressure washing company. And I thought, well, I can't do that without any credentials behind me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just say I'm a thing and then be that thing. Well, I could, but you know, if I do it, someone else could just do the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to distinguish that actually, you know, I've won this award. So then I started looking for awards, and there's a few for like domestic cleaning companies, and a lot of these larger ones, they're just sort of tax write-offs for large companies to pay for, you know, to avoid paying some tax and give their employees a nice night out.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find anything specific for like external cleaning. There's obviously a few. You've probably had the emails, and they're like, "We've entered you into the business awards.
Yeah,
you're a winner." And you're like, "Mate, how have I won that?" And they just want you to pay a load of money for a digital certificate. So I thought, if no one else has done it, why don't I do it? And I personally don't think it's right to be charging people at this stage. It's like completely new. There's no history behind it. So the idea is to just get as many people to enter as possible, get some recognition out there. So when people start using those digital trophies and stuff on their social medias, that will snowball into more people entering. Yeah. And then hopefully, if we get enough people this year, and then enough people next year, we'll do a black tie event at the end of the year.
Oh, that's cool.
It'll be like a December time black tie event for all of the winners and the runners up. Obviously, you won't know what you are until the night, but you'll be invited to the black tie event. You can pay for a chair or a whole table, depending on the size of your team. Do dinner, like entertainment and awards ceremony.
Hey, do you know what you could do? I know it's early days, but you could try and figure out some sponsorships from suppliers.
Absolutely, yeah. So that'll be something down the line just to help cover the costs, because we'd have to do it sort of central London, maybe somewhere that's easy for everyone to get to. And I know that, I mean, there's a lot of cleaning companies in Essex where I'm from, but I think a lot of the bigger companies are up north. So if we go for somewhere central, like central London, but finding a venue in central London to hold 100 people with dinner, it is not going to be cheap. So instead of passing that cost on to the people that have entered and asking them for 160 quid a chair or whatever it works out at, try and get some sponsors in. And yeah, I mean, it's down the line, but we need the the people to enter now, but that is live, ready to go, ready for people to enter as of right now.
I'll pop it in the chat. Actually, I'll go onto the homepage so that people can see it from the beginning.
Absolutely, and I've done a video on how to enter. So, and there's no I want to stress, there's no right or wrong way to enter. There's a category for new cleaning companies.
Yeah.
So companies that have been in the industry for less than a year, because I appreciate that not all of them are going to have like insane testimonials. They might have done a huge before and after job, but we're going to be judging these based from the customer's point of view. So instead of like, I mean, if you come to me with your custom pressure washer, you know, I'm going to be impressed. I love all shiny machines and, you know, nice hot boxes and stuff like that, but that's not always what the customer cares about. So in the entry, we want to see sort of testimonials, before and after photos, how you've made your business more efficient. Have you innovated to give the customer a better finish? What, you know, things like that from the customer's point of view. And then we're going to have categories which will grade on a 1 to 10 scale, and then you'll have an overall score which will place you 1 to however many people enter. Hopefully we can get some people on board.
How do you attach before and after photos?
So
would it be just like a link?
How you enter is completely down to you. You can do a text-based entry, so you can put it all on like a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation. You can do a YouTube video. So
that's a good idea.
Having doing YouTube myself, I thought will be inclusive. If you've got like a really cool creative way of entering, do it that way.
That's a good idea.
You can just put it all into a folder and email it to us via WeTransfer. It will all be digital.
I like that you're leaving that open to letting people enter however they like, because that doesn't limit people then. They can do whatever they want.
And I think a huge part of how you market your business and how you come across to customers in this day and age is creativity, social presence and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd give bonus points for anyone who goes that extra mile and puts a little bit more effort into their entry. We're not going to do bonus points, but for me, as one of the judges.
How many judges have you got?
So I've got 3 at the moment. Ideally, I'd like 5, just for that overall, better value of judgment. But we'll see how it goes. Obviously, the judges can be anyone because they don't have to know about external cleaning companies.
Yeah,
because they can just be a customer.
It'd be nice to have that someone that's not in the box.
Yeah,
in the community. To have
that
outside perspective.
Yeah, because like I was saying, we spoke about it on the podcast today, because that won't come out until Saturday. I feel guilty entering it, so I won't ever win it now, because I created it. If I let myself win, I think it's not fair on the other people that are going to enter. So for me, I'm one of the judges because I can't enter it. Now, how I would judge someone's going to be different from, say, how Brenda down the road's going to judge you.
But
because they're going to be looking at different things.
The fact that you've created it because you wanted it shows that there's a need in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think that it is lacking, and I think obviously we'll talk about on the podcast, so it'll get out that way. I've come on here to talk about it, to get it out. But other than that, because there's no other sort of platforms to talk about it, bar trying to get sort of like Sid or Ben from Flawless to talk about it, getting it out to the masses is going to be quite difficult. So I think I've got a bit of a job on my hands, trying to just push it and get people to know about it. But yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, just building up their entries, spreading awareness in it, I suppose.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So I just think Chris has said, Ryan, if you don't have any videos, you could make one fitting out your van. We have filmed fitting out the van. It's going on the podcast channel, so make sure you subscribe to the podcast channel. I have filmed everything up till now. I've got like 3 videos worth of footage, but I have not started editing any of it. We're doing cost of everything. So what I've spent, which is, I think, considerably the same or slightly less than if you were just to get a van mounted pressure washer fitted by one of the larger manufacturers. And I've got brand new window cleaning setup, brand new pole, brand new brush head, brand new pressure washer, mounted frame, soft wash setup, all brand new shelving. Got loads of stuff for the same price I would have paid just for the pressure washer.
When you say soft wash setup, is that a dosatron?
No, that is, so like in kind of like the American style
Tank with a pump.
15-litre pump in the van, tank of water, a pipe that goes into the chemical, and it mixes it via a blend manifold in the middle, and then shoots out of a trigger gun.
Ooh.
Yeah, very fancy.
Oh, I'd like you to show me that at some point, if that's okay.
Definitely, absolutely, yeah. But like, I think it's kind of a niche. Be good for. I am going to fit a fitting to put a water-fed pole onto it as well. But I think I might need to add a controller to the pump to do that, because 15 litres a minute for your water-fed pole might be a bit too much.
Yeah. That's I think like a decent, affordable soft washing setup that's actually practical and usable is well overdue in our industry.
Well, so obviously we interviewed Hero Softwash a little while ago, and his setup is flawless, absolutely flawless. Now, I'm not assuming my setup's going to be anywhere close to something that his is like, but I didn't need that level of capacity for what I want to use it for. I want to use it for spraying a bit of TFR on soffits and fascias, cleaning render, and potentially biociding a roof just a little bit quicker than it is at the moment. And I did have a soft wash set up in the back of the van, which was just a 60-litre tank that I filled with pre-mixed chemical. And then it went through it's like a normal window cleaning pump, but for chemical. I think I got it from DA Components.
Yeah.
And that it worked fine, but I had to drain it. If I was changing chemical, I had to drain it out. So when I filled it with roof biocide stuff, which is quite expensive, I didn't want to drain it out and throw it away, and you can't just keep hold of it in a bucket. So what I've done now is I've bought it's a two-way blend manifold rather than a three-way. So with a three-way, you have water, the chemical, and soap separately. And because obviously you don't really need the soap with roof biocide, I pre-mix all my hypo with surfactant anyway, and TFR, I don't put any soap into that anyway. So I only needed a two-way. I got a two-way from Extendable Cleaning Solutions, I think it's called, on Instagram, which was 180 quid plus £8.50 delivery. I haven't set it up yet, but he uses it, so I know it works. And then I should just be able to have a pipe. So one will be hard fitted into a 100-litre water tank, which will stay filled. And then the other pipe will go straight into the barrel, and then it will draw, and you've got like mixing dilution dials, so you can choose how strong it goes. Yeah,
because I wondered how you do that pre-mixing stuff. Like, I don't necessarily want to have multiple pre-mixed. Like, as soon as you mix hypo with water, it's going to start degrading much quicker than it would have if you just left it in the barrel.
Exactly. Yeah, but I don't mind throwing away the hypo because it's it's not as expensive. But what you don't want to be doing is throwing away roof biocide, because it's just expensive. So with this new setup, I'll have a 100-litre water tank that stays hardwired into the van, and then I'll just take my barrel of chemical, put the pipe in it, the hose in it, and then it will draw from both the water and the chemical, and it mixes it in the blend manifold and comes out the pump mixed.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the idea anyway. Whether it works out that way or not, it's a different story.
And are you attaching that to your lance or to the hose? Is that going into your hose at the pump? So is it one hose that comes out, or is it two?
So it's one hose that comes out of the pump, and on the end of the hose you've got a quick connect, and we've got a soft wash gun, which is similar to a pressure washing lance.
Is that like the one that AC pressure washers sell? Or is it
it's exactly. I think they both sell the same one. I got mine from Hero Softwash with the 4-way nozzles as well, which has got like a shooter tip, 45-degree, 20-degree, and a 0, I think.
I'm just pulling it up on the website.
Yeah, I think that they were out of stock on their one, so that's why I didn't buy from them. But like, obviously, I've got quite a good relationship with Hero Soft Wash now. Yeah, it's exactly that one.
Yeah, I've been
And that's
fascinated by all
quick
this soft
connect.
washing stuff.
Yeah, the reason I went with Hero Soft Wash, which obviously the price point's a little bit higher, but he pre-fits the end with the quick connect. He gives you the other end for the hose, I think, as well. And then obviously the nozzles. If you buy the nozzles separately, you've got to work out which ones you need, which ones are good for which job. Whereas he's done all that work and he's put 4 of them together and he sends them out to you. So although I paid a little bit more, it worked. I think it saved me time figuring out what I needed. Because even now, once I've built everything, I think I'm going to need to then come back and order a load of fittings, which I haven't thought about yet.
It's complicated, isn't it? There's a lot that goes into it, and even just knowing which direction to go with how to like what equipment to use for soft washing. Then when you settle on one, it's like, well, how does this work?
Yeah, like I've bought a certain pump which seems to be the most popular on Google, and then I was talking to Dan lots of Dan's, not Dan Hero Soft Wash, Dan Extendable Cleaning Solutions. I've got the blend manifold from, and he was like, "Yeah, that pump's shit. They've got known issues. Stick with an American pump." And I was like, "Oh, brilliant!" So that's like 300 quid down the drain. But I'll work it until it breaks, and then we'll look at changing that. But apparently they have got longevity issues, the soft wash pumps. But then, like, I had mine from DA Components mounted to my van, never washed it out with water because I used premix, and that worked for like 18 months. It still works now. I've just taken it out because I don't need it anymore. My
gardener backpack worked for almost 2 years, and I was using all sorts through that, and that's just a normal pump. That's just a window cleaning pump.
Yeah. So I don't really know how it plans out.
Yeah. Should we have a look at some questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Monkey, welcome. Spencer, welcome. Millhouse. Let's have a look. Oh, thank you, Matt. You're very kind. Welcome, Darren. How you doing, mate? You've had a busy couple of weeks by the looks of it. I struggle to get likes and follows on my socials for my business, but I'm very busy. Just annoying how some work and some don't. Any ideas on how to grow my page?
Consistency. If he drops his link, I'll almost bet money that he's not posting daily.
Ooh, you've been called out there, Scott.
I would put money on it. And if you haven't got the work to post before and after, because I tend to not post. Like, I try not to post soft facial jobs because I absolutely hate doing them. And every time I post one, I get like 2 inquiries. Like, oh, I need mine done. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to do it.
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah. But like, you can post an old video or an old time lapse of a job that you've got. Like, I've got to a point now where I've been making videos for like 2 to 3 years. So I've got some of my older videos are a bit shit, but I've got some content that I'm repurposing now. You can create little posters, things like that. It doesn't have to be work related, but people want to, if they want to follow you, they're watching what you want to do. They're not necessarily customers. So you've got to decide why you want followers on social media, because I think 10 customers that want to buy from you is better than 100 customers that just want to look at your before and afters.
Yeah, I've also found that having some kind of story when you're posting, it doesn't necessarily all have to be, this is what I did today, although that is the majority of the stuff that I post. But even like if you've got a new bit of equipment that you're looking forward to trying out, or you're doing something slightly different this week, or like I put a photo of Sophie's nephew up the other day. He was wearing one of my branded jumpers.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
just little things like that. That makes it doesn't have to be just totally work related. Else, a viewer just feels like they're being advertised to the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. So if someone's following you, they want to follow you as a person, or as a business, depending on how you want to set up. I try to be a little less personal, but it's hard when you do the YouTube as well, because people do want to see you. But I think eventually one day I won't be out here as much, or I'll just be doing the YouTube and less of the business stuff.
Oh, I thought you were going to drop some sort of...
No, ideally, if I'm employing staff, I want to send them out on jobs.
Yeah.
And long term, like we have, like I would like to employ a content maker, or whatever you want to call it, digital marketer, who just does everything. So runs all the social medias, does all my thumbnails for YouTube, does all my editing, creates videos for the business, for the YouTube, everything. And then it becomes less about me, although I'll be on the camera. But if I could just do the YouTube videos all year, that's what I would do.
Same, to be fair. That's the best bit for me, is the before and after photos, and then the YouTube content. I wish I could spend less time being a busy fool, and doing all the stuff that makes me money.
You know what I was thinking about earlier, right? And I don't know if this was like the exact number, but when you sell a business, if it's a limited company, you pay, I think it's about 7% entrepreneur's tax. So you don't pay the full like whack on the income because you've built a business, right? So I was thinking, if someone come around to me now and was just like, here, have about 750 grand for your business, which obviously would never happen. But I could walk away with like 750 grand, about 700 grand, 690 grand. I'll buy a house outright, have a little bit in the bank, and just do YouTube videos for free.
Yeah. Free cleans.
I would live the life. Living the life.
I think I get the impression that Ben from Flawless is on that path where he's probably earning so much money from YouTube that he just doesn't need to charge for his work, which is why he's doing a lot of...
Yeah, and every job he does is like 3 or 4 videos.
Yeah.
So if he's pulling in, I mean, even if he was only pulling in 1 million videos a month, 1 million views a month, so 250 views a video, 1 a week, and no one watched his older content, he'd still be earning like 4 to 5 grand a month.
Yeah,
which is like better than most people earn.
Yeah. When it gets to the point where it's just a passive income and you're generating, money from, like I posted a video in January that's suddenly just gone like that.
Yeah, I've had a few do that.
Where did that come from? Good evening, guys. I am from Russia. My name's Alexander. I do the same business in my city. I would like to get recommendations on what is the best car to use, and I would like to know more about the chemicals you use after washing the
best car to use would be a van.
Yeah. To be fair, actually, I started out of the back of Sophie's RAV4, and I think a lot of the lads in my Discord started out. One of the chaps was in I'm sure he was in like a Mercedes A-Class or something with his pressure washer.
It's definitely doable.
Yeah,
it's definitely doable. You wouldn't catch me doing it, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah,
I would just go and get a loan and get a van. Like since I written my van, must have had 10 or 12 jobs off the back of it. And like more compliments on it than I can care to. People are looking at it now. Whereas before, no one looked at my van.
I've been slacking with the sign writing on my van because I keep having little issues with it where it's like, is it going to explode? Is it going to break down?
It's tough when you've got you've got like 200,000 miles on it.
235,000, yeah. And this morning, I turned it on and it was like ABS failure, EC stability control failure, and then a tyre.
Christmas morning, was it?
Yeah. And it's just flashing and just changing on the dashboard. I was like, okay, great, another thing. I already had the engine warning light on. So that's another thing. And then went and picked Jakey up, turned the engine off, turned it back on. No, it's fine.
You want to get that down to like a nice Ford garage, get him to take it off you, get yourself a nice 69 plate, 70 plate Transit.
You reckon?
Yeah, mate, it's time. You won't ever look back. Do you know how well I sleep not knowing that my van's going to blow up? But I have no issues. Zero.
But even with a new van, you can have issues.
Yeah. But like with business, your life becomes about litigating risk, right? So obviously anything can go wrong. You could go and do a big job and like spend $2,000 on materials, and like the biggest job you've ever seen in your life, you need 200 barrels of hypo, and it's so good you don't want to ask for any money up front, and then they don't pay you.
Yeah.
Like you put the deposit in place to litigate the risk. Yeah. That's what life becomes. So if your van blew up in the morning, how much work are you going to lose in the time period it takes you to like either sort it out or go and get a new van?
I was thinking about this when the lights started flashing on the dashboard, and I thought if this goes bang now, I've got over 6 weeks worth of customers booked in that my machine's bolted to the van.
Yep.
I've got Jakey's machine, which is great, but I've got nothing to put it in.
No.
Yeah.
And it's big. That wouldn't go in the RAV4. I'll bet you.
No. Prompt Peak says, "Howdy, what a day. The graffiti remover stuff is potent. It's mangled the sponge roller and nitrile gloves." Yeah, so Prompt Peak did his first water-based sealer removal today. I'm just going to click off this. Hopefully I don't lose
did you. You used the graffiti remover to remove the sealer?
Yeah, so he'd applied some water-based acrylic seal from Pure Seal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the finish that the customer was after. And so he's got some good advice from Pure Seal, and he's applied this graffiti remover, and then he's had to pressure wash it off. And it looks like it's done a great job. It's just... It looks like nasty work. Have you ever seen?
I don't mess around with sealant. Just don't offer it.
Do you not at all?
No.
Do you want
couldn't think of anything worse than being in that situation. I'd probably cry.
Yeah, it's an expensive game if you get it wrong. Do you want to see what I've been doing this morning?
Yeah, go on.
So I woke up at... I mean, this is nothing new to you because I think you're up early every morning, but I was up at 5:15 this morning, which is unheard of for me. And I went and picked Jakey up.
Is this what you were talking about in the video?
Yeah.
Sealing it in the morning because it's been too hot.
Yeah, so I had to cancel the sealing job last week, and as soon as that ground temperature gets above 23 degrees, you can't seal because it's just gonna bloom. It's gonna turn white. But I'm glad we waited because the results, I got some block magic from Smart Seal, and it's so cool to be able to paint someone's drive and change the entire colour of the block pavers.
That is cool. It
was like, it went on so nicely.
Did they leave that little strip around the edge, did they?
No, so we've painted that black. I thought it looked quite smart as it was, but we've gone for
I think it looks quite nice.
We've gone black. We've done one coat so far. That one coat, because there's quite a lot of detail work on that one with the border and stuff. We've had to do quite a lot of it with the brush.
Yeah.
But that one coat took us 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it was worth it though. Do you earn well out of the ceiling?
This is the first recolor that I've done, and this customer mentioned it in the past, and I said that he's a very, very lovely chap, and he made us bacon sandwiches this morning and everything. He's so good.
You get the best food from your customers.
I do, yeah.
I don't even get offered tea.
And we've done his solar panels, we've done his gutters, faces and soffits. He's just asked me to clean his roof as well. We've done loads of work for him, and he said, like, I'd like to change the colour of my drive if you know any products and stuff. And I saw that block magic. I was like, that is perfect. That's exactly what I need. And I explained.
It's not very nice.
Yeah, I said I've not done it before, but I'd be happy to give it a go. And I just give him a good price on it. And I'm not really making any money on it, to be honest. But I wanted it for the before.
Good for experience, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I wanted it for the before and after pictures more than anything.
I've got. I had my first graffiti removal the other day.
I saw it on your Instagram.
And I've got my first paid patio. Like I'm redoing the jointing.
Oh, really?
And rejoint. Yeah, I've done a couple in the past where I've not done them properly, where they've had cracks and bits and bobs and bits missing. So I've just filled them in, but I've explained to them like it's not how you meant to do it and things like that. But this time round I've taken full responsibility and just going to do it myself because they don't last if you just fill in the gaps, do they?
No. How was the graffiti removal?
So it went. So I bought the Pure Seal graffiti removal, right?
Yeah.
And on the bottle it says you don't need to use pressure washer. You can just put it on and rinse it off. So I thought I won't use the pressure washer because where the graffiti was actually on the it was on Chalkwell seafront. So it's like right on the sea, and it was the sea wall, the original sea wall. So they've built a new sea wall since. So it's the original sea wall on the side of the sea, and it enclosed the Bowls Club, Chalkwell Bowls Club. They did have water, but I just said, I won't do it with the pressure washer. It says you don't need it, so followed the instructions. Applied it 24 hours before I was going to clean it. That's what they said to do. Come back the next morning, went to rinse it off, and nothing happened. So I thought, well, I'll let that one slide. So I retreated it, and I thought, right, I could see when I was brushing it on, I could see the paint going onto the paintbrush. So I thought, right, I just needed some loosening up.
Agitation.
Went to rinse it off again, nothing happened. I was like, oh, I'm getting a bit stressed. I brought my pressure washer with me because I'm not stupid, and I got it out of the van. But the tap was, I've never seen the fitting before. It was like a fireman's hose. So you put it on and twist it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't connect it to my buffer tank, and the hose I bought didn't connect to it. So luckily they had a hose there, and it was like double the thickness of 3/4 inch. It's crazy. So it filled up my bin in like 2 minutes. So I filled up the bin, and I'm probably about 40 meters away from the bin where the tap is. So I'm turn the tap on, I'm leaning over the wall trying to see the bin, get it filled up, and as soon as I started pressure washing it, it was fine. I'd done 3 treatments and it was completely gone. Did it come up really nice? In
hindsight, if you'd have done 1 treatment and then got the pressure washer out, do you think it would have worked as well?
Yeah. I don't think I needed to treat it 24 hours before.
Right. Okay.
I don't think it really done anything.
Is it nasty stuff? You're not wearing gloves. Is it like?
No, it smells a bit funny.
Does it smell?
Yeah, it's a bit like PVA glue.
Right.
So it goes onto your hands and it's a bit oily, but
it's done a great job, hasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't sting or anything.
And with the repointing, do you know what you're going to be using?
I'm going to use just the Screwfix one, I think.
Hey, represent Screwfix. Cheap, no nonsense.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think they're all the same, aren't they?
I can't tell the difference. I've said this many times. I've used probably 6 different brands now.
Yeah.
And some of them are different to others, but I can't tell the difference between this Screwfix one and the most expensive one that I bought.
Yeah. I think it always is like a resin compound, isn't it? So
yeah.
It can't be that dissimilar. It's just going to be the level of resin that holds it together.
Yeah. And
so
for this drive that we've sealed, I'm going to be applying some of the fine. I think it's called Polysweep, which is like the fine jointing compound, designed for like very tiny joints compared to the thicker stuff.
Oh yeah.
And that's the first time I'm going to be using that. So.
And then you're going to seal that afterwards?
No, so that on the Smart Seal videos, they suggest that you, if you want to colour the sand, they suggest that you clean it, sweep the sand in, and then seal over the top of it, so that the sand gets sealed as well with that tint. If you don't want the coloured sand, then you seal it, apply the sand, and then put a clear sealer over the top of it so it sets the joints.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do, I thought we could offset it really nicely with some silver sand. It's like very silvery, hard setting jointing compound, which doesn't need to be sealed to set hard. And so we're doing 2 coats of sealer, and then we're doing the jointing compound over the top, which I think should be nice.
Yeah. When have you got to go do that?
I'm going back same time on Wednesday morning.
Very, very nice.
But it's
Very
hard,
nice
like
indeed.
lying on the floor. My hand was like swollen this morning because I spent the whole morning on my hand with a paintbrush.
Yeah, it's not nice. Getting old, Jake. Knees start going soon as well.
I know. Doing that for 3.5 hours and then going out in the afternoon to do a big drive-by afterwards was grafty. But
at least you was on your feet for the second half of the day.
Yeah. Evening, Richard. Welcome, Chris, Ryan. You've mentioned that one. Squeegee Dave. Welcome. Is that
Squeegee Dave? Is he different from Squeaky Clean Dave?
Yes, I believe so. Unless he's changed his name, but I don't think Squeaky Clean Dave's been in the live stream recently.
I was only winding him up.
Fancy bit of gear.
Darren's got a softwatch system in dev.
Where does he say that? I have one in development. Oh,
yeah, but it's like 9-year waiting list, isn't it, Darren? So no one can buy one. If I put my name down now, I might get one. You can put it in the post with my invoice for the van mounted pressure washer I never got as well.
He keeps he commented on my last video saying nice pressure washer. It'd be nicer if it was green. But if it was green, I'd probably be waiting another 3 or 4 months for it.
I desperately wanted a green one. I desperately wanted one. I followed him up 9 or 10 times for that invoice. It just never came. Got told my name was on the board. But he's a very busy boy, and we love it. We love that.
He's a busy man, and he does some good stuff. But I think the awareness of PWS over the last 12 months has just gone like that, and I can understand why they're struggling to get everything done. And on top of the orders, they're probably getting 3 or 4 walk-ins every day that are taking up time as well. Hi Smell, I use Synergy Pro. Use Synergy Pro plus what you use for the roofs, for the conservatory roofs. TFR, generally prefer the TFR for almost everything. Gutters, windows, first cleans. It shines so much more.
TFR for everything.
I do find that very specific TFR that I found makes everything just sparkle afterwards.
I live by TFR. I've never used the Synergy Pro, but I've got the Pure Steel TFR, which is just perfect.
Do you know if TFR acts as like a degreaser as well? Can you use TFR on oil stains or not?
I haven't got a clue, mate.
Yeah, normally.
No.
Because I know you can use.
I don't touch oil. Anything oil. If you want me to remove oil, just say no. And I think someone's just put. I think I just saw it here. What do you say to people who want sealant? I did want to see if you remember you saying you wouldn't touch it. I just say no. Simple as that. When people ask me for sealant, I explain my personal view on sealant, particularly block paving, because I get a lot of people ask for sealing their block paving. I don't think block paving is designed to be sealed. It's designed to be permeable. That's just my opinion. So when people seal them, and a lot of people don't know what they're doing, and they seal them with that like anti-water tight sealant, and obviously it's not designed to do that. And then the driveway goes all wavy, and I think that's worse. So I just say no, because I don't know what I'm doing either, so I just don't get involved.
Yeah, well, you can get permeable, like breathable sealer and stuff.
But I think a lot of people don't know the difference, and it's just not something I want to get involved in, really.
Yeah, and the amount of money you have to charge to actually make it worth your time, the customer could probably have a yearly clean for the next 3 years for the cost it's going to take you to
exactly what I say to him,
to clean it once and seal it once. And
it still gets dirty, right? If it's sealed, you just don't get any weeds or whatever.
I mean, you still get weeds eventually.
Yeah. Oil stains come off nice and easy, so I don't really know what the upside to sealing is. I think it's just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, people contact me and say, can you seal my drive to stop the weeds? And the first thing I'll do is manage their expectations and say, if you're doing it to stop the weeds, you're going to be disappointed, because the weeds will always come back. You're going to pay a fortune to have it sealed. There are upsides to sealing certain surfaces, but I think I agree with you on block paving. in particular to put a clear
Yeah,
sealer on block paving.
absolutely. Like if you've got sandstone, I think it works well there. But I don't want to be the guy that does certain surfaces and not others. Plus, I don't think there's much point. Just stay clear of it all. I always say to people though, if they want to buy the sealer, I'll clean it, and then they're more than welcome to crack on. It would be sealer ready.
Yep, that's a good idea.
I just don't want to put my name to something like, and I think so much can go wrong if it's not completely dry and the moisture gets trapped underneath.
Yep.
Or
There's so many risks.
I had a job a little while ago, maybe a couple of years ago now, and they hadn't cleaned the sandstone. They just sealed it, and it was all green. So when I cleaned it, the green wouldn't lift. And I'd done like 4 treatments of hypo, and I was like panicking. I was like, it's just not working.
Yeah.
And then I said to her, like, is there any chance you've sealed this? And she went, yeah, my dad sealed it when we moved in. I was like, yeah, you fucked it, mate. See you later.
Yeah.
Give me my money.
A lot of people ask me about sealing. They've just started their business. They're like 3 weeks in. Their second customer has asked them to seal their block paved drive, and I'm just thinking, first of all, get at least 12 months worth of cleaning under your belt, because you need to learn how to effectively clean and get good results. On top of that, you need to learn how to go back and resand and do a proper job when it comes to resanding, because resanding is different to resanding before sealing. There are different standards that you've got to meet before you can seal a driveway. You can get away with a bit of excess sand every now and again, but if you're going to seal it, it needs to be perfect. And again, like you say, if you've not got experience with using chemicals yet, you're probably not getting the results required that you should be sealing over. Like if you're leaving black spots on algae and stuff, you don't want to be sealing over that.
Yeah, and I think as well, like all it takes is one like super heavily black spotted like sandstone patio they want you to seal, and then it's like you've got to keep treating that until all those black spots have gone, and that could be 4 barrels of hypo that you haven't accounted for in your quote. But if you seal over the top of it, it's just going to be ruined. Yeah.
And the other trap people get into is guaranteeing, saying that this is going to stop the weeds for this long, and guaranteeing how long it's going to take for it to start getting dirty again. And it's like you can't predict what Mother Nature's going to do in different surfaces and different areas.
No, and we had like a really wet winter last year.
Yeah.
And it's been a really wet start of the year, so the weeds have just had like perfect growing conditions.
Yeah.
And like I've had customers that I cleaned for in October, and they've already got a lot of weeds, just where it's been so damp and dark.
Yeah.
And it's been perfect growing conditions. Whereas normally you'd expect it only to be growing back just about now, I reckon.
Yeah, the best piece of advice I can give to anyone starting out now, if they get approached for sealing, is turn it down until next year at least. Get yourself on a chemical course and a sealing course and learn how to do it properly if you're going to start offering it. And also, don't guarantee anything. If the results are good on the day and you've done a cracking job, charge for the job that you've done. And don't start making any promises about how long it's going to take for weeds to come back. Even if you're upselling things like a biocide maintenance plan, don't make any guarantees. Just say this will help prevent algae and moss regrowth for up to this long. It's not going to stop it. It's going to help to prevent it. It's not a weed killer, but it will help.
Especially with ground surfaces, it's so much harder. Like with a roof, if you've pressure washed it and you've biocided it, like I guarantee 0 moss for 3 years if I've used a biocide on a roof.
Do you?
But even if I didn't biocide a roof, if I've pressure washed it, there's not going to be moss coming back within 3 years. True, unless they've got a tree overhanging their roof, at which point there's probably more issues there than it matters about the moss.
Yeah.
If they're semi-detached, I won't guarantee it either. If the neighbour hasn't had theirs done.
Spread over.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So only if they're detached and we've biocided it, they get that guarantee.
I've done 900 leaflets now, only 1 window clean out of it. Is this normal? Says Monkey.
It's not normal, but knock on the door, mate.
Is that what you did?
No, but I've got a lot of experience in online marketing and I've got a lot of sales experience. I've never delivered leaflets. I've maybe done 3 or 4 roads. Yeah, I've spent so much money on leaflets and they've just never delivered them.
Really?
Yeah, look, I've got I've got a stack of leaflets here. They're for we will clean your driveway for free if you let us film it on YouTube. I've delivered one. Yeah, I've got boxes and boxes of leaflets where I just haven't given them out, but I've made them. But like, I done a couple of days where I've got a couple of jobs down the same road, and I just went and knocked on all the other doors. And obviously, you give them a leaflet as well. But if you're looking for window cleaning customers, just go and knock on a door.
I have a lot of my viewers ask me what's the best form of marketing for like a new business, and I can't give any advice because the only thing I pay for at the moment is to host my website. I've just done Facebook before and afters for years. Is there anything you'd suggest?
The best form is very specific to what type of business you want to build. If you're looking, so for me, I'm a limited company. I plan on employing staff down the line, and I want to grow into a larger business. The best form of marketing for me is check trade, Google ads, stuff that's going to return money. If you're looking for a profitable job and you want a nice lifestyle business and you want to earn 4 or 5 grand a month and you're not got any plans to employ someone, go and knock on a door.
Build a regular customer.
You will, if you just go door knocking, and we spoke about this on the podcast, if you go door knocking and you get one customer a day, I guarantee you'll do less than an hour of door knocking a day on average.
So that
one customer. So if you're looking for one new customer a day, I guarantee you'll do less than an hour of door knocking every day on average. So you one day you might knock on the first door you get one customer and go home. That's if you just do it weekdays, that's 20 new customers a month.
That's a good way of looking at it. And
by the end of the year, you'll have more customers than me because I've only got 170 customers.
And if you can sell a specific service that, like window cleaning or gutter clearing or something where you can get them on a monthly plan or a 6 monthly plan, then that's a regular returning customer. And that's what I struggled with on year one is all of my customers were just one-offs, and I wasn't really offering anything else. I was just doing pressure washing. I was very, very narrow-sighted.
Oh, mate, it's a dream though, isn't it? Just to do pressure washing. It's just you can't.
You can't.
I just don't think you can't build a business like that from the ground up. No. Eventually, you could probably drop the other services once you get busy enough. But I think as well, if you target you drive around, you'll find houses with plants growing out of gutters. Knock on the door. Some of them are just going to be like arseholes that just don't look after their property. But you'll get a family that just didn't realise, and that'll be like a 200 quid gutter clear.
Yep.
Or 150 quid gutter clear.
How much do you think is you as a person versus anyone's ability to go knock on a door and sell a service?
So I know I listened to a podcast and there was a guy on there that done bin cleaning. He was as rough as they come. All he done was knock on the door, just clean next door's bin, do you want yours done? He had 1,000 customers. There is no skill to knocking on the door and just saying, "Hello, mate, I've just cleaned next door's." Like, especially if you're window cleaning, right? Not in a horrible way, but the general stereotypical window cleaner is probably like a scumbag in a vest.
Tradie boy, loud.
You expect him to be down the pub by 3:00, you know? So if you knock on the door with like a polo on with your logo on it and just say, "Hello, mate, I've got another job down the road. I'm just knocking on the neighbours to see if you want a regular window cleaner." That is all that you need to say. They're going to say yes or no. And then if they say yes, you go, "Oh, let me price it up for you." Price it up. They might still then say no, but every no is say on average you've got to knock on 50 doors to get a yes. So every no is one step closer to the yes.
Yeah.
And every yes is one bit of experience closer to not having to do it anymore.
Yeah. My mate Richard started his business a couple months back, and his first week he went round door knocking, and he was very specific about which houses he was posting his leaflets to. And within the first couple of days, he had like 4 jobs booked in for the next week.
Yeah.
And they were
We
considerably
spoke about it.
they were like decent sized driveways as well.
Yeah, we spoke about it on the podcast. If you were doing pressure washing, just going to knock on the doors that they look like they've had it cleaned in the past, but maybe not for a year or two. Obviously, if they're like crazy overgrown, they probably don't care about the state of their property.
Mhm.
If they're, they look like they've been done maybe a couple of years ago, chances are they'll have it done again, give them a good price. Fox smart with it,
I sometimes find when there's like a weedy drive, if you look at the type of windows they've got, look at their window frames, and if they've got all paint flaking and stuff, and there's bits of wood hanging off everywhere, probably don't put a leaflet through because they don't really care.
They're not gonna be a returning customer.
No,
but then you never know. Leaflet costs a few pennies.
Yeah, true.
In.
Hero Softwash is here. Welcome, mate. Do you think June or July time is a bit late?
Just looking at Hero Softwash's question, I know exactly what he means here, because he does a lot of like building his personal brand on his cleaning business page. So I think he's asking one or the other.
Oh.
And I would have to say, if you're running a business, build the business page, keep your personal brand separate. But that's just my opinion.
So he said cleaning business page or personal brand.
Yeah, I that's how I've taken his question.
Cleaning business page or personal brand. I'm not sure I understand.
So like where you've posted Sophie's nephew.
Yeah.
That's you building your personal brand. You're letting your followers get to know you as a person.
Right.
But at the same time, so he reads a lot of the same books as me. He listens to a lot of the same podcasts as me, which is why I think I know what he's talking about. If you're looking to one day sell your business, if your business is you, it's a lot harder to sell.
Yeah.
So you want that commercially profitable enterprise separate from your personal brand, and have your personal brand separate. So you'd have Smout's Pressure Washing and you'd have Jake Smout, the YouTuber, separate entities. But when you collide the two, I think the lines get blurred a little bit. So that's personally, I would have Hero Softwash, the brand, the cleaner business page, and then Daniel, the personal brand.
That's a good point. I think I'm generally leaning into the area that I'm comfortable with. I don't plan on selling Smout's Pressure Washing as any sort of commercial, but there's a company over in Bromsgrove who are massive H2O restorations, and they are just in the process of selling franchises. They've got a franchise manager that's setting all that up for them, and that in itself, the branding that they've developed and the website and the social media stuff lends itself so well to just being handed off to someone else. There you go, you go and start your branch.
The only problem I've got with franchising is their work then tarnishes your name.
Say that again.
So say you franchise Smout's Pressure Washing to someone in Essex. Now he goes and does a job and he just fucks everything up. Like it's a limestone, he's just ruined it, just the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And then they Google you to write a bad review. They find your page and they review you.
They have they are combating that by offering, as part of the franchise package, they offer 1-to-1. There's a amount of time they're giving it, but 1-to-1 training. So you go out with them for a couple of weeks or months or whatever, and you learn exactly how they do everything. And there's like a comprehensive training package that you have to go through before you can be sort of,
Yeah.
And they won't sell it.
Isn't it?
They also won't sell it to just anyone. You've got to pass their thing before they will say yes, you're qualified to be a franchisee.
Yeah, there's definitely you should have those things in place.
Yeah.
I've got no plans on selling Kirbside, but I'm going to build it as if I was going to sell it.
It looks like that sort of business where it could be, not that it could be anyone, but it's very brand. It's a solid brand.
That's the idea, yeah. And then, although, like I say, I've got no plans to sell it, but if I build it as if I have got plans to sell it, so it works without me in it, then it's sellable.
Yeah.
I can lend against that. I can borrow against it.
Yeah.
if I did get into a squeeze at some point, it's ready to go. And I just think it's a good practice to get into.
Yep. John says, big up Smelt, just found your channel a week ago, love your content, been thinking about starting a pressure washing business. I'm going to go for it. Cheers for the motivation. No worries, mate. Thanks for
Brilliant
watching.
comment.
A Transit is the easiest van to break into.
They're all easy to break into.
Yeah.
There's just lots of Transits, so they're easier to hide once they've been stolen.
Yeah. Darren
If
says,
someone wants to break into your van, they'll do it.
Yeah. Someone put a picture in the Discord the other week. He's had a hole drilled in the side of his van. I don't think they actually got in, but Darren says, I was over 10 years trading before I had my first new van, sorry. Jesus, don't buy a Transit. Let's have a look. Any more questions? Ryan, what do you say to people who want sealant? I think we've pretty much been through this.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to catch up. Yeah, just trying to catch up with questions. Hi Hooper. I would recommend doing the Pure Seal course. Have you done any courses whatsoever? It's all been self-taught.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Learning from failures, mainly.
Where did you get all your sort of knowledge of TFR? And I suppose you've got a lot of carpet cleaners that you use as well, different detergents.
Yeah, so the carpet cleaners we bought brand new, so that came with a training course. So, yeah, technically I have done a training course for the carpet cleaning. No, that was Texotherm, who I would recommend to anyone now. Brilliant. You get a Facebook group with people that have got the same equipment. Very, very good. But as far as TFR, that was just trial and error. So I was just buying lots of different chemicals, and then I ended up with TFR and Virusol, which I mixed together, and it just melts dirt like no tomorrow.
Virusol, what's that?
It's just I think that is a degreaser actually. But it like kills lichens, so it's quite good for like dirty windows.
All right.
Stuff like that. Obviously hypo and stuff like that I just learned from YouTube. I probably watched 5,000 hours of YouTube before I started cleaning.
Yeah.
Like I was every day I was just watching. If I wasn't working, I was watching YouTube videos. I think that's where I learned a lot of stuff.
I think trial and error like that with different brands of chemicals and stuff. I mean, I'm not what's the word? Loyal to one brand of anything. Like yes, I promote certain brands and I've got affiliates with certain brands, but I will use whatever I fancy using or whatever I think's best.
Yeah.
And trial and error with different chemicals, different sealers, it's only ever going to build your knowledge.
Exactly.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend mixing stuff because especially when it comes to like hypo.
Yeah, I wouldn't mix like chemicals, but soaps. I think soaps is fine. TFR and Virusol is just like they're just like degreasers.
Yeah. Hello, Jetwashed. Welcome.
What else we got?
I built the wheelie bin buffer tank from your videos, and for some reason it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Oh no. I had to connect to a conventional tap with bad pressure. I wonder if can you expand on that, because maybe we can help you out on the live stream. Maybe there's something you've done potentially slightly wrong, or if your machine isn't sucking it very well, because that can be a big issue for some people, is the suction hose. Do you use a buffer tank? You've got a big buffer tank in your van, haven't you?
Oh, I lost you there
for a
second.
I lost you for a sec. You're back now. What size is your buffer tank?
The one for the van build,
250. Okay.
Yeah, I've only been using an 80-litre wheelie bin.
Really?
For probably 18 months, yeah. And I very rarely run out of water, but my machine's 18 litres a minute, so it's a little bit...
That's kind of that's in the sweet spot, I'd say. Sort of between 15 litres is like a entry-level, I suppose, commercial style machine.
I've used the 15, and so when I've done the playground, my friend Silla done it with me. He's got the same pressure washer as me, but the 15-litre version.
Okay.
And mine was playing up at the time. I had blocked filter, so it wasn't working properly. But his machine just wasn't quite enough. the 15 litres a minute. I think it would be fine if you was doing a driveway, like a small driveway, and even like my 18, I think sometimes struggles in certain areas.
What I've found is it makes an absolutely massive difference what type or what size nozzle that you've got on. So particularly with turbo nozzles and stuff, we did a direct one-to-one comparison today with my big turbo nozzle was blocked, and I had Jakey's, just literally snap-on Lance, snapped his on, and I was pressure washing, and the spread on the turbo nozzle and the amount of that spread with 200 bar was washing so effectively. And then I swapped back to an old turbo nozzle I had from my 15 litre per minute machine, which wasn't screwed onto the end of the lance. It was a quick release turbo nozzle. The amount of vibration, and because that was the only one I could use, because Jakey was using his, I had to use my old turbo. I was using it for like an hour solid, and I couldn't close my hands afterwards because the amount of vibration coming through the lance from that turbo wobbling around. And he was cleaning, even though my machine was putting out more water than his, he was cleaning so much quicker and more effectively than I was.
Yeah, but your machine probably wasn't putting out the water because the nozzle size is there's if you Google it, there's like a table.
Yeah.
So the nozzle sizes only allow a certain amount of water through. So I done the opposite. I bought a nozzle for a 21 litre machine in preparation, and I thought, it'll be fine for me 18, and it just wasn't. It obviously wasn't filling the turbo nozzle enough.
Yeah,
and I was getting much lower pressure. But I think it worked both ways.
And also that old turbo nozzle, the spread wasn't as wide on it as well, so it was a finer spread. Yeah. So I had to sort of pull back further to get the same spread, but then it wasn't as effective as getting the weeds out. It's a very fine balance.
Yeah, I think there's not enough information out there with turbo nozzle sizes as well. It's very difficult to learn what you need, and like I found it was like an absolute minefield just trying to work out what size you need. And I was like one website with this table, and then going back, and they, what the drop down box on Rutland pumps wasn't matching up to what I was looking at on this. Yeah. And then I'm having to do like gallons per minute into litres per minute, and like
you'd have thought there'd be a better system by now, the amount of people in the industry.
Yeah, or they'd just say they'd at least just put on the website, this is good for an 18 litre per minute machine, Yeah. Or like explain it rather than just putting numbers there, because it's just confusing.
Yeah.
I know if you call them, they're great, but I sometimes don't get home till 6 o'clock and they're not there, so I need to order my stuff.
Yeah.
Online, and when you work out what you're doing.
How are you doing for time?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, no issues at all.
Right. I told my decking customer last week that the guidelines of the product say 12 months protection, which is Max Clean Pro. I tell them I can only go by that, and that's not a personal guarantee. Yeah, I suppose you can tell them what the manufacturers say about their product, and that's not holding you accountable at that point.
It's just the trouble you've got is it's just very dependent on what they've got in the garden. Like if they've got artificial grass and no flower beds, it's going to last a lot longer than if they've got a load of flower beds and 3 trees.
And also, if you do that, it sort of leaves you open to them saying, well, maybe you applied it wrong, or maybe you did something wrong, and you don't want to have that conversation with someone, because then you have to go back and do another one for free or something. Yeah. Evening, Ray. Welcome. How are you guys finding it with the wetter summer we seem to be having? Has it had much of an impact on things like resanding? Yeah, so for me personally, I mean, these last 2 weeks have been glorious, and we've been able to resand the same day with a lot of jobs. But if you clean a driveway and then it rains for like 2 weeks straight, there is nothing you can do about it. And potentially in that 2 weeks, you might have little weeds poking their heads back through, and you gotta wash the drive again. Like, what else can you do?
You're gonna hate my answer.
Oh God,
I haven't returned to resand a driveway all year.
What?
I just finished cleaning it and then I resand it. As long as it's not raining.
You're sanding it wet?
Yeah.
How? This is something we've been talking about in the Discord for quite a while. I tried wet sanding on one occasion, and it was so difficult and it took so long. Do you think it's actually worth the effort?
So obviously it depends on where your job is. If the job's on the same road you live on, then just come back when it's dry. But personally, I find if I'm already at the job and I sit there for half an hour just letting the surface water drain away and the blocks are a bit damp, I'll wet sand it. And I've never had a callback, by the way. So it looks like shit sometimes when you first finished. But as soon as you get that first bit of rain, it just washes the top sand away. But if you had to if you got to drive back home, then drive back to the job on another day, so you've got to find time to do that. Drive back to the job, spend almost the same amount of time resanding it anyway. Then you're going to blow it with your blower, load all your bits back into the van and drive to the next job. I think you lose more time.
There is something to be said for that, because I think a lot of people underestimate the time it takes to resand, and it's not something you can rely on the weather for. And so you've just sort of got to slot it in wherever you can. So that return trip could be any time between now and the next 2 weeks, and you don't really know. My only issue is I wasn't. I was definitely filling the joints when I was resanding, because applying water at the same time is going to probably fill the joints potentially better than if you were doing it dry. Have I lost you again? I think I might have lost him. Oh god. Test.
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, you're back. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely effective. It was just very hard work. Do you not find it much harder than resanding it dry?
It obviously is harder, but I don't think it's like, don't get me wrong, if it was a 200 square metre driveway, I'd probably just come back on a dry day.
Yeah.
But for like a standard 2 or 3 car driveway, it's just easier to do it whilst you're there.
And how are you doing
as long as it's not raining? Obviously, I've been quite lucky the fact that it's not been raining when I finished.
Yeah.
But the blocks have still been wet. You know?
So you're more just resanding a damp driveway, and then rather than actually having the hose with you and brushing it in wet.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. I just resand as normal on the damp driveway, and then go over it again with the brush just to get rid of as much of the top sand as we possibly can.
Right.
And then anything that's left when it rains comes out or washes off the bricks. And then I always say to the customers, once it's rained, if you think it needs doing again, just let me know and I'll come back. But I've never been called back.
I suppose that's the important bit. Yeah, is letting the customer know that if there's any issues, you can come back another day.
I always say to my customers, I'll come back. And I think that's what allows me to be so confident with stuff. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of people that just would never do that. They just think, hell, I'm not wet sanding, it's going to look shit. But worst case scenario, you come back on a dry day and you sweep it and it's all gone.
Yeah.
And you resand it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very important what you said. I think before I leave, I did it today, before I leave any job, I'll say, look, is there anything you need me to do before I go? Because then you're mitigating that, potential 4-star review compared to a 5-star. Not that I've ever had a 4-star, but if you go the extra mile for them and say, do you want me to put that bin back, or is there anything you need me to do before I go? Are you totally happy? Then you can't really say anything, can you? If you get a call back.
No, absolutely not. I think I've probably had 2 callbacks this year. Nothing serious, just silly stuff.
Yeah.
I got called back to a window cleaning job, and they were like, "Oh, there's a smear on that window." And you think, "Yeah, all right, just wipe it with a cloth and it's done." And they're like, "Oh, brilliant! Yeah, brilliant." It's never been anything too serious. I re-biocided a roof the other day that we cleaned in October last year because it started spitting as we were biociding it. But it was like halfway through the biocide, and the back, which was dry when we biocided, was much brighter than the front. So there obviously was an issue.
Yeah.
So I just went back and redone it.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you find that window cleaning customers are more picky than bigger jobs like driveways, patios?
No, I find the bigger houses are just picky in general.
Are they?
The bigger the house, the more picky.
People with more money are generally a bit pickier.
Yeah, as a general rule of thumb, yeah.
I hear a lot of comments about my window cleaner doesn't do a good job, or he doesn't turn up on time, or he's a lot of criticism about window cleaners that you don't necessarily hear about sort of general exterior cleaning as a whole. It's more about window cleaners, but I suppose if you're doing regular visits to a customer that they've got, and it's windows, you can very, very clearly see whether someone's done a good job or not.
Yeah, I think so. In the 3 years I've been running, I've never once missed a day of window cleaning. Obviously, I've had to move some jobs around here and there if I've been on holiday, but it's all been, I call the customer and tell them that. I've never, ever not been reliable. I've turned up on time every job, every month, without fail. And like I always say to my customers, if there's any issues, get me to come back. Like, I'm never going to ask you a question. I'm not going to sit there and go, why do you want me to come back?
Yeah.
Send me a picture. I will just come back.
You can't
and I will just do whatever you want me to what you want me to do.
You can't say fairer than that, can you?
But I'm sure people love a moan, didn't they? So I'm sure someone's probably said that about me.
Mm.
I've had maybe 2 or 3 customers. So I had one customer that it's been a customer of mine a long time, and I told them that they needed their gutters emptied and their soffits and fascias cleaned, and they were like black. And done them the quote, and I'd done it quite cheap anyway, because they were a window cleaning client. I gave them a bit of a discount, and I turned up to clean their windows one day, and they'd had it done by someone else. I was this close to just dropping them as a client. They really wound me up.
Had the soffits and gutters cleaned by someone else?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. And you'd offered?
Yeah. I pointed it out to them because I go on their flat roof to clean one of the windows, and I was like, "Oh, your gutters are pretty full." And I think I'd only charged. It's a 4-bed detached house with gutters on all 4 sides. I think I'd quoted 80 quid to do the gutters and 160 quid to do the cleaning or something. So like 240 all in.
Mm.
And I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not expensive either.
Yeah.
And they've had someone else do it.
That's annoying.
So, it was annoying because that would have been a really good transformation.
Yeah.
They did come up brand new.
Matt says, any ideas what caused the block on the turbo? Yeah, so we're constantly switching lances and stuff and taking the trigger on and off, and there's a chance that it might sit in some sand or get splashed with some dirt. And 9 times out of 10, before I plug a lance in, I rinse the end of it off. There's occasions where I haven't done that, but I watched Sid's new video, and he said he flushes all the hoses out when he first fires the machine up. He flushes everything out before he puts like a trigger on or a nozzle on, and I think that's the way to do it. I'm going to start doing that now because I have blocked up multiple turbos.
I've never blocked a turbo.
Maybe not.
No.
You must work a little bit cleaner than I do because I get everything plastered.
No, I'm probably the worst ever. I'll get it inside my van sometimes, and I don't even have my doors open.
I have a Kiam 2800P. Was a house tap in the garage. Put the wheelie bin higher than the jet wash to help with the gravity. Literally use your links apart from the float valve.
You might have a low flow float valve rather than high flow float valve. Fuck, that's hard to say, isn't it?
I wonder if it was an issue with the machine actually drawing the water, or whether it just wasn't filling up fast enough, because I specifically put that float valve in the video because that was one of the best that I've found to fill.
They do the same looking float, because I've ordered 2 recently for the van mount, and they do a 1/2 inch float valve, which is low flow, and they do a 3/4 inch float valve, which is high flow.
I didn't know the interior of that valve was different, because we've got a 1/2 inch one on the new machine, on the new tank.
Yeah, I think it's the bit inside. It's not the bit on the outside. But
I'll have to get that.
That's how I understood it anyway.
I'll have to get that changed. I have no idea why they chose the numbers they did, but the right one for your machine is always right. I have no idea. People find it confusing. I think Darren's talking about turbo nozzles.
Thank you as well. Yeah.
Evening, Ray. Barkley says, got to go back to work at 8 p.m, then walk the dog, now eating eggs on toast, shattered evening all. Welcome, mate. Love how straight to the point Ryan is. Yeah, no bullshit. Tells it how it is. Mark, welcome. Do Do others on here charge for cleaning work and the sanding separately, or do you wait until you've done the whole job and then charge once? I charge once. The customers.
I also charge once.
Yeah, I used to break it down in the quote. Sanding, washing, sanding, and then whatever. But now I just combine it into wash and resand, and then I put like a caveat at the bottom saying if it requires a chemical treatment, that's included in the price as well. Unless it's something.
The reason, just to touch on that point, the reason I don't offer it as two separate services is because I wouldn't want to put my name to a job that doesn't get resanded. So if you don't resand it and the customer doesn't resand it because they think they don't need it and it saves them a bit of money, and those weeds are back in a week or two, then that's you that looks terrible.
Yeah.
It's not, the customer's not going to go, oh no, the cleaning company done a great job, I just decided not to resand it.
No, that's true.
They're going to go, don't go with these guys, I had weeds back in the first 2 weeks of having it cleaned.
Yeah.
Well, it's because, you didn't put any sand back in and the weeds have got free path.
I actually did the big job. It was relatively big, I suppose. On my Facebook page today, the guy actually said that he wanted to resand it himself because he was going to use that Dan sand stuff. And to be honest, I'm glad he said that because his block paving was extremely weathered and very, very rough. And so that would have been an absolute pain because the Dan sand is very fine. You'll get a bag and some of it's like kiln dried sand and some of it is like dust, depending on what part of the bag you're using. And that would have taken such a long time and so much effort to brush that fine sand in. You can see the blocks there in that picture. They're so weathered, all of the aggregate is coming through.
Yeah.
But I didn't argue with him. I just said, if you want to clean it yourself, I'll offer you two different prices. £3.50 per square metre to clean, and then £4 per square metre if you want me to resand it as well. And now that I've got that...
The bloke near me, he's North East London, he charges £6 a square metre to clean and £1.50 a square metre if you want it sanded.
Jeez, £7.50 all in for some block paving.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And he's getting work.
I mean, the cost of living down there is different, isn't it?
Big old houses he's working on. They've got quite small driveways though, so really the cost per job isn't going to be crazy.
Yeah,
because they've got massive houses, but they've got one car driveway.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or it's underground parking or something.
Yeah. Your other point as well about taking payment. Customers will often say, "Do you want me to pay you now, or do you want me to pay you when you come back and resand?" And honestly, I found they also say this about how do you want paying? Do you prefer cash? Do you prefer card? And whatever. And every time now, just to instill trust with my customers, I'll say, however you like. I don't mind. I'll take check.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, I'll take check, cash, bank transfer, whatever's easiest for you. And it doesn't matter whether you pay me today or whether you pay me when I come back and resand. Whatever you want to do. And I feel like that has contributed to a lot of my reviews where people say, Jake is upfront, honest, trustworthy, all that sort of stuff. It really does instill that confidence in the customer that you're not just there to try and make a bit of money and shoot off. You're right.
Yeah, there's a gnat that's in front of my face.
I was more thinking for the delay. Yeah, and I've got the luxury of being able to do that because I'm not relying on every single job to put food on the table. Essentially, I've got a bit of a buffer tank. I've got a little bit of a buffer in my bank account now where I'm not relying on each and every job that comes in, even the big ones. £700 driveway clean that we did the other day. I wasn't relying on that to be able to pay the bills this month. And so when you get into that position, it's like a nice thing to be able to do. Whereas in the early days of your business, you might not be so fortunate. And also, if you have to fork out for materials, things like chemicals or sealers, or if you've got to buy something very specific for the job, make sure you're charging the customer and getting a deposit from them, because you don't want to be out of pocket for 2 weeks before the job starts. What would you say on that, Ryan? Do you think?
I've never asked for a deposit on a job unless it's commercial and above £1,000.
Okay. What if you have to? I mean, I suppose if you've not been sealing and you've not really been doing any repointing, then you haven't.
And I also stock 100 barrels of hypo at the moment.
Yeah, someone told me the other day that you've got a pallet of hypo. Who told me that?
Or 4 pallets of hypo, yeah.
Who told me that? I can't remember. It was either Squeaky Clean Dave or it was my mate Rich, but I don't know how he knew. Did you say it on your channel or something?
Yeah, I put it on my story on Instagram, yeah.
Why have you done that?
So
And how are you storing that? Oh, you've got a warehouse, haven't you?
We've got a warehouse. So I went halves with a friend of mine who owns a pool cleaning company. So we were both ordering like 20 barrels every other month. So about 10 barrels a month. And it got to a point where like I was running out and he was ordering it. And it weren't really his fault, but like just the deliveries only go out on a certain date. So we was running out of them. He had to borrow some from me to stock his shop and stuff. And then I was left with like half a barrel of hypo. And it was just getting a bit squeaky bum. So I said, look, I don't want to do this anymore. I said he was paying a certain amount for 40 barrels at a time. I was having half, he was having half. I said, if we both put in the money for the 40 barrels each, we can get 100 barrels. So we got like an extra 20, like an extra 10 each. And like I said, if we can sell a few of them and get our money back out of it, we'll almost have like 30 or 40 barrels for free.
That's massively worth it then, as long as you can store it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I sold 20 or 30 of them already. So I don't know how many he's sold, but he's got 50. I've got 50. Yeah. And like I need another 10 for my business now. So I'll just take them out and like I can take them out at cost price. So for me, because we'll still put the money in that we paid for them.
Yeah.
So otherwise we just end up losing money if we end up using them.
Yeah.
So it just saves me money, saves him money, you know, and the stock's there all the time. So I haven't got to worry about that. Don't seal. I buy 20 bags of sand at a time, keep them down the warehouse. That costs me 85 quid. So I only pay like £4 a bag of sand.
Yeah.
Because I'm buying it in bulk. And then anything else, like I've just bought, like, instead of buying one Stinky Pinky, I bought 4. So they'll just sit on the shelf down the unit. And
What's
then one
that?
will sit on the van.
Stinky
the
Pink
rust remover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like roof by side, same thing. I just buy 4 at a time.
Yeah.
I just buy everything in bulk. And it just sits at the unit.
I
need it.
I should do that, and I've been thinking of doing that because there have been a few occasions, like this morning, I had to quickly rush off to the local farm shop and buy some hypo, and then I got home and realised I hadn't got any surfactant, so I needed to put some synergy in the hypo to use it as like a surfactant.
Yeah.
And
I sent you earlier about the what they call polypropanol bags.
Yeah.
And you're saying you can get 5 bags for £5 from Screwfix, but if you put in 40 quid, you can get 100.
Yeah.
And they're like 40p each.
Yeah,
so
I'm not looking
over half the price, you know.
I think you're able to look at deals like that and buying in bulk because you've got the storage, whereas I have a small area down the side of my house that is already full, and it's got chemical barrels and it's got jointing compound.
You know what I'm going to say to you, didn't you?
Get a warehouse.
Yeah, get some storage.
You know what I'm going to say?
You save in buying in bulk. We'll pay for the storage. It doesn't have to be a warehouse. You can get a container. Like if you find a decent container place, it's like $120 a month.
Well, the thing that I'm thinking about with the storage is if I've got to find one really local, else it means another journey. I might as well just be going to the shop and buying hypo than going to my warehouse, going to my container to pick it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then like it's a security feature, isn't it? So like instead of it sitting down the side of your house ready to be stolen, it's in a locked container with a padlock on it.
Yeah, I mean it's not necessarily anything expensive.
If someone finds your address, all your equipment's there. Whereas if it's not there, it's somewhere else.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I'm only keeping barrels of chemicals that no one can really do anything with down the side of my house. It's not like there's anything crazy down there, but I'll tell you.
Then like you can buy a bulk. You can buy a scaffold tower, which saves you 100 quid every time you got to hire one. You can buy spare stuff.
Are you doing much roof cleaning?
Not loads, no. not crazy amount, nothing to shout about. I've done a couple this year, but for this like a couple of months. I've got one on Thursday.
Do you still enjoy
I've
it?
done it. It's no, not really. I think as far as jobs go, obviously it's good money, but it's high stress.
High stress, I agree.
Yeah.
There's a lad in my Discord that pivoted from cleaning driveways and patios because he sort of said it wasn't really worth it for him. Pivoted to then just doing roofs, and
Yeah.
I think he's had a bit of a shock as to how difficult it is.
It's like I don't know. It'd be like it's like a bit like going to the gym and just smashing your head with a weight plate. It's like it's not enjoyable. Like it hurts just all the time. Like if I own my own scaffold tower, so I haven't got to worry about like hire companies not dropping them off on time. But the amount of horror stories I hear from like they've hired a tower to turn up at 8 o'clock in the morning and it doesn't turn up till 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep.
Like, do you know how that if that happened to me, like that would fuck up my whole month.
Yeah.
Because I'm running such a tight ship at the moment. I haven't got room for delays.
That's what I was going to ask you earlier. Is you've just answered my question, but how do you deal with that sort of stuff? Because with this ceiling job, because it was too hot last week, and I've had to move it, I'm now in panic mode trying to get it done, and I have no availability to just slot it in on any of my other days because I'm so busy, and so I'm having to start it at 6 o'clock in the morning instead. And I wonder how many people are able to be diverse with their calendar, because I've seen Sid on YouTube. He talks about like a waiting list that he's got, that he does jobs, he checks them off the list as and when he's
I know, like, so my mum and dad had a new kitchen, and the guy that done that, you book him, you pay a deposit, he gives you a sort of a like how many jobs he's got to do before yours. But what he'll do is he'll call you at the beginning of the job before yours and say, look, I'm expected to be 10 days, give or take a day or two. Can we start your job then? And he might then take a couple of days off between those two jobs because those 2 days don't work with you.
Yeah.
And that's when you get booked in. So when you're doing like roof cleans like that, like Sid, it's probably a little bit easier to do something like that. But when you're doing like driveways, people don't want to go on a waiting list.
No.
Like it's not a specialist. They can call the next person and get it done. But with a roof clean, it's a lot more specialist.
True. That's very true. And also, I find a lot of the time when I'm booking people into the calendar, I'm suggesting, okay, I can do, the 7th of August. I don't know if it is, but if that's a Wednesday, I'm not at home Wednesday. I'm in the office on Wednesday. Can you do a Friday? And it's like, you can't just slot people in whenever you fancy it.
No, I get a lot of that. And then like, I see you have to explain to them, look, if you want a Friday, my next available Friday is like September the 1st.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, bloody hell. Right, but then they book in. I used to be very, not obsessed, but it was like, I was really like, I wanted to make sure that customer's happy. Like, and then like, I was doing everything I can to get them booked in as soon as possible.
Bending over backwards.
I was worried they were going to go somewhere else. But now I'm like I feel like I've proven how good of a job I can do.
And you're busier now.
Yeah, I am very strict with my diary. And at the same time, like I had a friend, which is a friend I went to school with, I cleaned their grass and their patio. And it's only a small white porcelain patio and they look after it themselves. But they've got a second dog and it's pissed on the grass, it stinks. So she's like, I need you in ASAP. And I'm like, the earliest I can do, so they had a party coming up on the 13th. I said, I can't do the 11th or the 12th, so I've got a wedding and I'm booked. But I can do the Wednesday the 10th for you. I can work a little bit later and fit you in. I was hoping to get the grass done before then. And I'm like that's literally my next available date. I said, I can do the grass for you. Like, I can squeeze you in for the grass from the 1st of July. Oh, if you get cancellation, can you let me know? I'm like, bruv, it's 2 weeks away.
Yeah. Do you know what I got? I went to quote a repointing job the other day, and we were exchanging messages yesterday. She's a lovely girl. She's really nice, but she's had a party coming up and stuff. And I explained on the day, like I'm booked up for like a month and a half now, and trying to knock me down on the price. Like if it's cash, I'll give you this much. And I said, I can't move on price first of all. And then she said, okay, any chance you could do it before this weekend? To clean and repoint an Indian sandstone patio before this weekend. It's like,
I'll find someone else, mate.
what? I don't understand. I mean, it's the busiest time of year for most exterior cleaners. And yeah, it's people's expectations are crazy. And a lot of the time recently, people are saying, you know, if that's the earliest you can book me in, then fine. But if you do get a cancellation, get me in sooner.
But I don't know if you're the same as you, but like I confirm all my work, like the bigger jobs, like quite far in advance, and then I confirm them again the day before. So like these people have booked in for a date, they're not going to cancel.
Yeah.
Because I've booked in with them. I've then checked that they're still wanting to go ahead, and then I checked with them the day before. So like the best chance scenario, I might have a couple of window cleans cancel.
Yeah.
So like if you want your patio pressure wash, it's not enough time for me to fit that in. Then on top of all that, I'm working out how to do all this fan building stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like I might get an hour to like cut a bit of metal. But that's all I get done.
Yeah, luckily I've not had any cancellations, really.
No, I don't get any cancellations because I think it's because I run a tight ship.
Yeah.
And like the most I had was that graffiti job was for a customer who's also having their house soft washed and their patio done, their driveway cleaned. But next door, having like a full renovation, they've still got the scaffold up. So I said, there's no point me soft washing until the scaffold's down because if they're still blowing dust, it's just like, what's the point? And he said like they've been delayed. So I said, no worries, we'll just push it back 2 weeks. Like, and he's let me know that's not booked in till I think the end of July. So like he's let me know well in advance. It's not really a cancellation. He's just pushed back.
Yeah,
for a good reason as well.
If anything changes in my calendar, I do get a little bit anxious with it because it's like, oh god, it's not going to plan or something. But even if it's absolutely fine, I still sort of worry about it. Just give me just a second, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Do you want to have a little reader chat and see if you can answer any questions? Yeah. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Let's have a look. Welcome to the Kirbside live stream, live from Jake's Mouth channel. Let's see what we're doing.
Can I have another coffee?
Where do we get up to? Do get down in price square meters go up? Do you go down? Anyone go down in price of square meters go up? No. It's the same job. It doesn't matter how large the area is. If it was like something crazy, like 1,000 square meters, I might do them a discount, but I wouldn't put that down as like a lower square meterage. I'd like maybe knock off 10% or something.
I spoke to a local exterior cleaning company who said they charge more for bigger jobs. You know,
arguably, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
but it's more work.
If something goes wrong, that price per square meter on a scale that huge, if something goes wrong, it's going to potentially delay you days, not just hours.
Yeah.
So you need to account for all that.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, I might. So generally, if people have more than one service done, I'll give them a discount. But like, yeah, if it's just a big job, and I always think the big jobs, they always want it done like stupid time, or it has to be done at the weekend, or you think like, yeah, I should absolutely be charging more for that. But I don't charge more. I just charge my rate. But I've recently upped my prices to £5 a square meter.
Yeah.
Because and that'll be £5 will include the VAT when I go that registered. So I've sort of counteracted.
Okay,
I started charging it now.
Yeah, so it won't be such a jump.
No. And like I can say to people, it's £5 a square meter, including that, which is £4 a square meter plus the VAT. So yeah, I've had a couple of jobs. I have seen it slow down a little bit, but I was going to say to you just before you went off there. I think when I get cancellation, I'm like almost like a little bit
relieved,
like, hoping for cancellation. Like, I just want some time off.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right. This weekend, my little girl had a birthday party. I was looking after my niece because my sister-in-law and my wife went to a hen do for a family friend. Then on Sunday, I spent the whole day refitting my window cleaning stuff back into the van. So I haven't had a day off.
Yeah.
Then this weekend, we've got like a wedding on the Saturday, and then Sunday I'll probably spend the day working on the van again.
I
kind of hoping for cancellation.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way, and what I've been trying to do is keep Mondays as admin day, where I can just catch up on stuff and not have any physical work to do.
You're not the first person to say that to me, actually. Hero Softwash said he does his Fridays.
Does he?
And it's something that But at the moment, like, I just hate leaving money on the table.
Yeah,
That's the only
well,
problem.
I'm making money sat in front of my computer, catching up on all that sort of stuff that I would have missed ordinarily. I can make
Yeah, see,
500 quid.
I'm quite on top of all of that stuff, so I
Yeah.
don't have a day's worth of work.
Well, you get up early.
Yeah, but then like I've got like a day's worth of like I've got all these videos to make for my website. So when I filmed the videos for the Cleaning Industry Awards, I filmed a load of explainer videos because I'm having my website rebuilt. So it's all going to go video content. So I've got to make those videos or edit them. So I've still got to do all of that. Then I've got the videos to edit for the van build for the podcast channel. We filmed a podcast episode today that I need to edit. So like I've got work to do.
Yeah.
But if I took a day off, I'd just
I've lost you again.
there
So-
you go. You're back.
You're back.
Yeah, if I had a day off, I'd just end up editing videos all day, and I find it really difficult to do the same thing all day.
Same, yeah. Yeah.
I
I think
can't sit in front of a computer and just edit videos all day. It just does my brain in.
yeah. I do think you would, when I'm in front of my computer and I've got no physical work to do, I can find money that I wouldn't have found before. Just chasing up an old quote that they forgot to reply to or something.
Yeah.
If you're clever with it and if you're making good use of your time, whereas if I'm like you, I don't really have a day off. I'm either responding to quotes and inquiries.
You work a lot of weekends as well, didn't you?
Well, I do every Sunday, and my days off are Tuesdays and Saturdays, but I still spend them, even when the kids are with me, I'm popping out to a quote here and there, or I'm on my phone catching up, and or it's like full on family time with the kids. We're going out, we're doing stuff, and so it's not really a day where I can sit and do nothing.
No, yeah, it is frustrating.
But
Trying
that's
to fit everything in.
this is what comes with owning your own business, and people think
The burden of the beast.
Yeah,
Yes.
they think I'm going to start my own business because I'm going to have more time on my hands, but that's just
you
not
get
the
less
case.
time.
Yeah,
Arguably, like if you want to just like fuck your life up and work all the time, start a business like that. That is the best advice I can give you. Like I work like 24/7, and like my wife is so supportive, and I love her to bits. But like I do sometimes feel like I neglect her.
same.
It can be really, really tough.
Yeah,
Really tough.
my girl was asking
Like,
me to push her on the swing earlier, and I was like, I
Yeah.
just need 10 more minutes just to finish off what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
It's so tough. I've got another one on the way now as well.
Have you? Oh, congratulations! No way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I was actually pregnant when we met you at the expo.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, it's due in October, so that'll be like I've got to deal with juggling work around a new baby. I'm gonna want to take some time off. But
yeah.
you can't really take time off.
I mean,
And it's even worse for you because you've got like Jakey now as well.
yeah. I mean, maybe consider dropping that day and just having a day where
I'll
you've got
see
nothing in.
how it goes in the winter time when it slows down a little bit. Because I would like, so especially after I go VAT registered, I want to spend some time attacking businesses and trying to close some more commercial work because obviously they're going to want the VAT on the jobs. And if I can get some nice contracts in place, that will levy the stress a little bit.
The winter just gone. My brother was with me at the time, and he's got a lot of experience in project management and stuff. And he was up till like 9 o'clock most nights sending emails out and stuff. And he generated, which was huge for me. He generated in 1 month 10 grand's worth of
It does work.
commercial work. And,
yeah, it does work.
I'd never done 10 grand in a month before. I couldn't believe it. And that's just him sending out some emails, and we got a few bites, went out, did a few quotes, and it was as easy as that.
You only need a couple.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with commercials, generally they're bigger jobs anyway. And I've got a few contracts at the moment that are good to me. But if I could just have like 4 or 5 more, even at the sizes they are, like I've got them now. It's like 2 to 5 grand a year. Just a couple more.
Yeah.
And like it just really like levy the stress a little bit.
Yeah, a bit of security.
Yeah, it'd just be nice to, and I love just going to one location and working.
Even if it's all week, just being able to.
I hate driving around.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. I hate sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look. I just saw a good question.
Go on.
Hello, I have a resin driveway to do on Thursday. Do I apply the hypo after jet wash or before? Or can I apply hypo with a watering can or a garden sprayer best? I don't have an X-Jet. If you're doing a resin driveway, apply the hypo before, clean it twice, apply the hypo twice afterwards. That is the best advice I can give you without seeing it face to face. You cannot go wrong if you follow that procedure.
The issue you're going to have with applying hypo with a watering can on resin is it's just going to disappear. If you pour a glass of water onto resin, it just falls straight through. It doesn't puddle, it doesn't pool at all. And so you need to make sure you've got plenty of surfactant in your hypo.
Yeah, so if it's Thursday, he's got time to get some surfactant.
Yeah.
Definitely, you need surfactant because it needs to stick to the top of the resin, especially if it's older resin because the gaps are slightly bigger.
And rather than just applying it with a watering can, what I would suggest is get a soft bristle brush and a bucket, dip it in the bucket and get it nice and foamy on the surface. If you get a stiff brush, it's not going to foam up very well. Get a nice soft brush and brush it on, and then it will sit on top of the surface instead of falling through.
Ultimately, buy an X-Jet. That's the best bit of kit I ever bought in my life.
Really?
I use it on every single job without fail, even if I'm not applying chemical, which I apply chemical. But I use it to rinse. I use it to clean the windows because you can turn the pressure. I've got the one with the adjustable pressure.
Yeah.
So you can turn the pressure right down, clean the garage door, windows, front door.
Hang on. Adjustable pressure or adjustable fan on the end?
No, adjustable pressure. Flow, adjustable flow.
How are you adjusting the flow?
There's a flow dial. So I've got a flow dial. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. I'm sure I got it from adjustable flow X-Jet. Yeah, I don't know if they do them anymore, to be honest with you. I've had mine a long time.
So you can leave the machine running as it is and just change it on the lance?
Absolutely, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be useful. I know Equip to Clean did like a vario pressure adjustment.
Yeah, so similar to the trigger with the vary flow on it.
I've not had one before.
Yeah,
I've not looked at one.
The ST2600, whatever it is called. It's got a flow adjustment valve on the end before the coup fitting.
What, all of them?
Well, that particular one.
Oh, right.
Has got one, but it's like 90 quid plus VAT.
Right.
So it's quite expensive.
Have you got a link?
Yes. Adjustable.
Yeah, that could be, like you say, when you're going from high pressure rinsing the drive down to low pressure just rinsing the windows. That's
PWS do it.
Oh, really?
It's £109.99 plus the VAT. Here, I'll pop the link in the chat. Can you click the link in the chat if I put it in there?
You can't post links in my chat. Sorry. What's it called?
ST2600 adjustable pressure.
I never knew that was a thing. That little bit in the middle there.
Yeah, so that is obviously adjustable for all of your nozzles, so you don't have to fuck around with your unloader valve.
Oh,
and then my X-Jet.
I wonder if that makes a difference because I've got a needle valve on mine. I wonder if that would affect it.
Well, you just leave the needle valve up at max pressure and then adjust the pressure on. I mean, Darren probably disagree and say something much safer than me, but that's what I do.
I need to get one of those. I need to get 2 of those, but that's a lot of money for a little dinger.
It is a lot of money. It is. You can buy the adjuster on its own.
Oh, that's including the trigger. Oh, of course it is. Okay.
I don't know if you buy the adjuster from PWS or Rutland, but you can definitely get them from Rutland.
That's good to know. You've blown my mind.
Yeah, I don't think they sell my X-Jet variant anymore. But it's just got a vary flow on it.
Yeah, you are right. Having the versatility of everything that the X-Jet can do is very worthwhile.
Yeah, and I use it on every single job. Now I can't find anything.
I need a Wii.
So the flow. If you type in flow into Rutland Pumps, you'll see the Quick Connect flow controller with a quick connect on the end, which you could then, if you've got the XJet with the quick connect adapter, that would work effectively the same way.
Got it. Oh yeah, that's
it.
cool. Yeah. It's only 33 quid.
Yeah. And then I've got the same thing on my foot pedal for the roof cleaning, so I don't have to fuck around with the pressure washer. I can just do it on.
How much would you recommend a foot pedal over a normal trigger for roof cleaning?
So I've never used a normal trigger, but from a safety aspect, the foot trigger wins every single day because you're not moving.
Yeah.
And you've got two hands on the pole.
Instead of one like this.
You're holding the trigger, which that trigger could snap off, couldn't it? Could do anything.
True.
Whereas, doing it the way I do it, you've got two hands on the pole and your feet firmly planted. So from a safety, it's a bit more of a ball ache to set up. But
do you find it an issue moving it around and stuff, or is it okay?
No. Yeah, never had an issue.
I'm lucky that Oliver says I'm lucky that while exterior cleaning is still my side job at the minute, my full-time job, family business. We buy pallet loads of hypo at a time. Oh my god, what a convenience!
It's a farm, isn't he? He works at a farm. Dairy engineer. We
sell to our dairy customers for the general pipeline cleaning and dairy clean downs. Nice.
Yeah, it's all organic, isn't it? Dairy, so it makes perfect sense.
I put a splash of Synergy in, about 2 litres of hypo, didn't quite use it all, carried on with my day. By the time I got home, the container had almost exploded. I did find that, actually. They say that Synergy is hypo safe.
Yeah, it's not, it's definitely not.
But yeah, when I've combined them, my thing blew up, almost exploded as well.
I had that once when I first started, and the hypo barrel come out like a football. I can't remember what surfactant it was, but I use the Pure Seal surfactant now.
Yeah,
Pure Surf.
Yeah, I use that.
Never had an issue with that.
Yeah, because I'm sure it was Pure Seal that told me that Synergy was hypo safe, but yeah, clearly not. Evening, haven't been here for a while. How are you doing? LRS, welcome, mate. Liam, that was I think Liam was the chap that was having issues with towers not turning up when they said they were gonna.
I know loads of people that have had issues with towers not turning up.
The only thing to keep in mind with the foot pedal is not to put it on top or near the tower trapdoor, as it can easily fall. Oh no. Thank you so much.
So what I do is, obviously, once your machine's pressurized, you can't undo the quick connect without releasing the pressure. So I just get my hose reel and I loop it around one of the rungs, and then I plug it into the foot pedal, so it actually physically can't come off.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think PWS and ProGrip are developing some sort of mounting system for different attachments on the towers, on the My Towers. You've got something you can plug into the top of the My Tower.
Sounds like a good idea. Right.
Have you got anything else up your sleeve that you wanted to go through? Is there any more questions for Ryan? We've kept him here, managed to keep him here for 2 hours and 40 minutes so far. I appreciate your time, mate, by the way.
Oh, mate, okay, I just love it. I love it.
Are you at home now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, last time, weren't you were in your warehouse last time, weren't you?
No, I was here, but the desk was just at the end of the garage.
Oh, okay.
Last time, yeah, so I've just moved position. But I've got electric down the warehouse, but I can't get internet down there. So do all of the computer work from home.
Yeah. So
hoping next year we'll move to like a slightly more purpose-built warehouse that will have like a big shutter that we can drive into, and have a office in there as well.
A green screen on the back of the shutter. It comes down.
And that will set us up for the future, for sure. But it's a big jump. So I only pay £500 for my warehouse at the moment, which, like, when you see the size of it, like it's an incredible deal. But it's just 4 walls and a roof with like 2 plug sockets. But obviously it'll be a big jump from where we're at now into something more purpose built.
Yeah,
more like £1,000 to £1,200 a month. So yeah, I need that commercial work coming in.
Are you so your plan is to employ and then try and step back slightly to focus on the YouTube?
Yeah, so ideally I would like to employ someone to come with me for a year, and then after a year buy them a van and send them out doing the work.
That's sort of the plan with Jakey, is
Yeah.
to have him come out with me and shadow me for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think a year is a good amount of time. And then if we're busy enough after that year, I could employ a second person for them to train, because they'll be used to working as a 2, not working on their own.
Yep, true.
And obviously, like, working as a 2 is just much more efficient. They can get more work done, safer. So yeah, that's the plan. But like, I've still been buying a lot of stuff. So the only reason I haven't employed someone is because I wanted to buy everything that I wanted to buy.
Yeah, it's an expensive
So the money
game.
I've spent there, and then like, see, got the warehouse, go back registered, so there's no more like weird like bills coming up. Like, just get that sorted, and then like, I'd like to give myself a pay rise, really, because why not?
Yeah,
and then at that point, once everything's covered, that's when I can start looking at taking someone on.
and it's nice to offer all these different services and be versatile, but with that comes not only the whole additional body of knowledge you need to be able to do those jobs, but the equipment as well to be able to do them properly. And it's such an expensive game. And I've been doing stuff pretty cheap, and it's still bloody expensive to do everything that I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, I'm quite lucky that I've got 2. I've got 2 of everything now. Like, not by design. I'll just fucking buy stuff I don't need. But
Yeah.
I'm ready to, like, if I could find the right person, I just need a van and all the equipment's there. I won't need to buy anything.
That's a good position to be in.
Yeah, so like, now that I've got the van mounted pressure washer, that, you know, I've got my backup pressure washer, my old one. I've got 3 gutter vacuums.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've only got 1 grass cleaning set up, but you wouldn't really need 2 for this. A 2-person job really on its own. But then,
Did you say grass cleaning?
Yeah.
The artificial grass?
Yeah.
Is that do you get regular customers for that sort of thing?
Yeah, we do a quarterly clean on that. We recommend a quarterly clean. I've got a couple that have it done monthly.
Are you using
like a bit more clean freaks?
I've seen you using the power broom.
Yeah.
Are you using any specific chemicals and stuff to treat artificial grass?
Just artificial grass cleaner.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like just a generic.
You'll still do one, which I've bought. I haven't used it yet, but I've been using Pro Clean's one. It's got a nice scent and it sanitizes and deodorizes. And
Is it something you can apply and leave, or do you have to rinse it?
no, I don't rinse it. I apply it and leave it, and just tell them to keep it's pet safe, but I just tell them to keep the pets away from it for half an hour.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah, I don't do any like scrubbing or anything. The broom does all the work.
Yeah. Squeaky Clean Dave just bought one of those power brooms to do his resanding, and he said he's never going back to a normal room.
I just don't know how, like, they move quite fast. I don't know how effective they'd be at actually getting sand into the gaps. Like,
I mean, it's almost flicks
like
it.
You just want to throw sand at the driveway, and that's almost what he's doing.
But that does work with when you're brushing in kiln dried sanding. My experience, when you push it and sort of flick it, it does go into the joints. It's just my fear would be.
You're talking about pushing and flicking with a broom. This is like 5,000 RPM.
Like,
yeah, and you can't slow it down.
Yeah.
There's no dial to go slower. So I think it works specifically for that large job he had, where they're not going to come out and inspect any missing bits because it was a commercial.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a group home on it or something.
He says he uses it all the time. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But it looks a bit uncontrollable to me and very heavy.
Yeah,
and
that's what I mean. It's not. They're not that heavy. They're quite light. But as far as like controlling it into, like, if you're trying to get into a corner or an edge or something,
You still need a broom.
You've got to go slowly, haven't you?
Yeah, you probably still need a normal broom and stuff.
Yeah. I think for the job of the size he done, it was a perfect addition.
Yeah.
But for a normal size driveway, I can't see how it would be more efficient than just using
You'd be
broom.
flicking it all up the side of the house and stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and like you're overspraying it into the road and you're losing a load of sand.
Yeah.
Then you've paid for the petrol to run the machine and the sand that you've missed.
True.
Times that by 100 jobs a year or whatever, and you've probably lost a fair bit of money.
Yeah, true. Bert says, is the Hypojet from Equip to Clean a good alternative to the XJet? It depends which one you go for. The first one that they put out, the ratios weren't quite there. I'm sure it did.
It's enough on it, apparently. It broke. You used it for too long.
Did it? I don't know. I mean, they all...
Dave from Aqua Cleanse, he's like sponsored by him, and he says the Mark II is really, really good.
Yeah,
and he does a lot of acid washing, so like really puts it through its pace.
Yeah, they've just released the Hypojet 2, I think it's called, and that looks better because it's got loads of different proportioners, so you can actually.
It looks like the XJet, doesn't it?
Yeah. Before you could only do it 1 to 6 or 1 to 9. Now you can do it with all of them.
It's not strong enough, is it?
No, but it looks it looks better than the old one. I think the reviews you're seeing are probably for the old one because the new one literally came out like last week. XJet is tried and tested, would definitely save the extra bit of money up. Someone in my Discord said he looked at my XJet on my videos and he said he thinks I might have a knockoff one because the image of the XJet M5 compared to the ones that suppliers are promoting as the XJet M5, the barrel of it is slightly different, and
as long as it works, mate, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's what I said. But it's interesting. I'm wondering if some suppliers are putting kits together themselves and selling them as M5s.
A lot of them are, but everything comes from China.
Yep.
Don't matter who makes it; it's all made the same place somewhere.
Yeah, true.
As long as it works.
Love listening to Ryan. Makes total sense. He does. Says it how it is.
Proper legend to me, mate.
You have got you're. I feel like you're a really good person to talk to when it comes to not only your background in like marketing and sales and stuff, but you've pretty much done everything with regards to exterior cleaning when it comes to like roof cleaning, window cleaning, pressure washing, gutters, faces, and soffits.
Try me and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, for advice, I feel like you should. I mean, you do it on your podcast, I suppose, but we should get you on here more often to get just.
I'd love to come on here more often. Mate.
Yeah,
I love it.
Just to answer those general questions that I don't really have an insight on.
Yeah, whenever you want me, just give me a shout. I'll be there.
I'm just rubbish at reaching out to people because I've been a little bit busy at the moment. But yeah, if you get a free Monday evening, just let me know and we'll jump on together.
I always make time for you.
Oh,
that's how it works, isn't it? I'm never free. I never make time for stuff.
Have you had dinner?
Yeah. So I finished work. So 20 jobs today.
20 jobs, bloody hell.
Yeah, got to my first one at 8. Done that, and where I've like ripped the van out, I've just got the tank, my reels, my pump controller, and normally I keep my battery under the front seat. So I've got the battery in the back just because I couldn't be asked to set up all the wiring and run it through. I've bought some trunkings that need installing. Driven to the second job, as I broke, the battery slid forwards and hit the hose and put a hole in it. So it's pissing water out. So I've then gone, I've got nothing else in the
This
back
is
of my
a
van.
full tank of water.
Full tank, full 460 litres, well, minus the first job. And I'm like, fuck. So I quickly turned it, the ball valve off. And I was like, what am I going to do? I can't fix it. I've got nothing to fix it with. So I had to drive back to my unit, 20 minutes one way, 20 minutes the other, for a 30-second fix. And obviously brought the rest of it with me. Then finished all my other work. Finished at 3, but by which point all the schools were coming out, so it took me an hour to get home. Went straight down the unit, got my wife to drop the camera down there. Dan was already there. We filmed a podcast. Then I had a phone call with a solicitor because I don't know if you've heard about the missold APR on car finance thing.
No.
Anyway, I applied for that like 4 or 5 years ago, and that's finally going to court. So I've got to go to court tomorrow and give a witness statement. So she talked me through that. Then I had dinner. Then I was on with you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You're so bit. I
That's
mean,
most of my days are like that.
Just-
And then I like in between all that, I've got to send all my invoices out.
yeah.
Hey, funny. Watched your video
Oh, thank you.
just in case there was something I needed to talk to you about, and then I sent you the link for the polythylene bag, whatever they are.
Just driving to 20 properties in one day would like stress me out.
Yeah, it's not fun.
You don't give people times, do you? Just a day.
No, yeah. So this was like a general window cleaning day. So this day is the same every month because
Right.
it's one of my busier days. So normally I would have been doing this day tomorrow, but obviously I've got to go to court, so I pulled it forward a day. And that's the only time in 3 years this day has changed. But they all know roughly what order they're in, so I'm with them at the same sort of time every time I do this day.
You said earlier that you sent a mass text out to all your customers. We might have discussed this last time, but I forgot. How are you doing that?
So at the time, last time we spoke, I was using Cleaner Planner. And you just go to the customers tab, select them all, send SMS, and type it out. I'm now using Squeegee, but it's the same process. You just go to the customers tab, and you can filter them to you can filter them to your window cleaning customers only, so say for example, you can filter. I'm not sure if it goes this deep, but I'm pretty sure you can. You can filter all your pressure washing customers that were booked in between sort of January the 1st, 2023 and December 31st, 2023. And then you can send them a text and say, we cleaned the driveway last year. Have you thought about booking in again this year?
Yeah.
And send that one off. And then you can do the same for the window cleaners. Have you gutters? We're doing a deal for all our window cleaning customers. Gutter clear outs, 10% discount or whatever. Send that one off. So you can be quite specific, or you could just select them all and just send them all the same message. That's regular and one-off customers, you know.
That transition to Squeegee, porting all of your customers over, was that a difficult process?
No, so they do it all for you. What was difficult was Squeegee's a lot more in depth. So it's much better suited for the larger business. So you've got there's a lot more settings. You've got like more ways that you can contact customers. You've got like tons more like VAT and invoicing features, and just getting your head around that was a little bit difficult because Cleaner Planner is very, very basic, and it's a great system for anyone that just wants, if you're doing one-off stuff like you mainly, or like yearly cleans or 6 monthly, it's fine, but you can only look 60 days into the future. So I was finding I was getting 6 to 8 weeks booked up, and then I couldn't give people dates because I couldn't look far enough in the future.
That's I'm sure there's a paid version
No, that was I had the highest package.
What?
That's
bonkers.
It's just the way that operates, and that was the only reason I switched over to Squeegee.
That's crazy that's such a limitation of their software.
But Cleaner Planner is built for window cleaners. It's not built for the external cleaner.
Right.
Where someone might contact you and go, "Oh, my patio cleaned in March, but it's December." So it's not built for that. It's built for window cleaners, where you book someone in and they're either on a 2, 4, 6 or 8 weekly clean, where you can always see their next clean because you can see 60 days into the future. But I outgrew it effectively.
Would you recommend that someone who's just starting out signs up to one of those sorts of services, those planners where they sort of keep track of all your customers?
Without a doubt, there is absolutely no way. So Dan doesn't use a software to track his customers, and I'll give him such a hard time for it.
You're gonna hate me. You're gonna tell me off.
Yeah, but like I sent out one text and made $2,000.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it would take you to go through your like written notes of your customers? I mean, you might have them in an Excel spreadsheet, which saves you a bit of time, but it's like the effectively, right? And everyone listen up very, very closely. Business is a data capture game. All you need is data, and then every year on, you grow in that data list. Every year you can send that text out 3-4 times a year. By year 10, you could run your whole business off the back of 4 texts a year.
With my business, I think I know I've got a lot of repeat customers that are returning customers. They're not written down anywhere, and so I'm just remembering, yeah, that's a repeat customer, that's a return customer, but I've got no way of contacting these people. I'm waiting for them to reach out to me because I might have broke my phone.
It's just moronic. That it just blows my mind how you can be that stupid. Do you know how much money you're leaving on the table?
I mean, things are going quite well at the moment.
Like not in a horrible way, but the reason you haven't done 10 grand in a month until your brother came in and was contacting corporate clients is that reason.
Lack of organisation.
It's that reason.
Yeah.
I've been hitting 10k a month for probably the last 14 months.
Bloody hell.
And that's like, you can't manage that level of business without. I just couldn't do it on pen and paper. I would go loopy.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, and the devil's advocate in myself, I have a lot of window cleaning customers. So like I have 170 window cleaning customers to keep track of on top of all my one-off cleans as well.
Yeah, I think if I hadn't have steered the business towards purely pressure washing from the beginning, then I might have started taking the data side of things more seriously.
It's never too late to start taking the data.
Yeah, I should be. I mean,
cleaner planner is super basic, 30 quid a month.
I'm talking with Matt at the moment to get something sorted for me. Matt's in the Discord.
Yeah, and I just think you just can't go wrong with it. You can invoice from it. It keeps track of all your outstanding money. Surely that's a job in itself when you ain't got a system.
Yeah, it is.
It's like having a staff member, like for 30 quid a month.
How does it know that you've been paid?
You have to mark it off unless it's through Go Cardless, then it marks it off.
That's another job. That's another job for me.
Yeah, but it's 2 clicks. How do you know if you've been paid?
I just sort of check the bank and just go back through.
But then how do you know if you've not been paid? Without checking the bank.
Yeah, you don't really.
It's the same job, but it's just like you might have done a job 2 months ago that hasn't paid you, and it's just slipped your mind. And before you check your bit of paper or whatever, you just slipped your mind. Whereas you just check your outstanding money, it's just there.
When I do
you can send reminders directly from the system as well.
Yeah,
you can send reminder text messages out the week before, the day before, whatever you want to do. You can send invoices direct from it with a payment link. If you sign up to Stripe, it's all integrated. So if they pay via the payment link, it marks it off automatically.
Mm-hmm.
If they pay via direct debit, which is not so, suitable for your style of business, but you charge them directly through the software, and then once that money clears, it comes off of your outstanding payment list automatically. So it is geared more towards window cleaning, but it is good. It is really good.
Apologies for the dog barking in the background. I don't know whose that is.
I can't hear it.
Okay. That makes sense about the data thing. I get all of my customers to text me once they've made an online payment. Learned so much from Ryan. You
can try Cleaner Planner for free, by the way, for a month.
Can you? The issue, one of the main issues that I've got with that, I mean, I'm making excuses now. This is bullshit what I'm about to say.
Excuse-itis.
Is giving all of my customer data to another company and then paying them for the privilege every month. Whereas what I'd like to do is find a system that keeps track of it myself. But I've not been proactive in doing that, and I've just let it slip. But
I think this is where it comes that you're being like slightly too tight in this situation. For 30 quid, I've given you the answer. You haven't got to spend any time looking for something for free or like building something that works. You're never going to build something that ticks every box without spending more than 30 quid.
Yeah.
You might be able to code something custom that works exactly how you want it to work, but you're going to have to develop that.
Yeah, it's going to take time. Time's
you
money.
yeah. You'd pay 30 quid a month and it does the job.
Yeah, you're right. You are right.
And even if you only used it to send a text 4 times a year,
Mhm.
the 360 quid a year that it costs you to have that plus your credits, which I think 26p a text or whatever, it might be less than that. I can't remember. You would make so much more money than that.
I mean, I thought about this last time. I must not have thought about it enough to actually do something about it. But the visualizing like a spreadsheet of all of my customers with the breakdown of all of their services and stuff, the opportunities I've missed not having all that information, their phone numbers, their addresses, all that sort of stuff.
You absolutely can do it for free as well. But what you then, like, if you put it in just into a Excel spreadsheet, you'd have the same information, but you'd then have to highlight and select all the text message numbers, put it into like a MailChimp, or you can do it direct through TXT Local, paste that in, write out your text message just to send that out. It still costs you the same in credits.
Yeah.
Or you pay 30 quid a month, you do it with 2 clicks and it saves your text message in there. So you can send that same text message again next year.
Mm-hmm.
Or you make a little tweak to it and see if it works better.
I suppose you can automate messages as well to come out every 6 months or whatever.
You probably can, yeah. Squeegee would be better for something like that. It's a lot more in depth.
Mills says, I have a very good Google Sheet with all of my customers on, and it does all the working out for me. Been years in the making, so struggle to think about making the jump to cleaner planner. Yeah, I mean, if you've already got something that's working for you, there's no reason to switch, I suppose.
If it works, it works, but it's just manual, isn't it? It's you doing the work. It doesn't work, you work.
Yeah. Mm.
Someone said if squeegee is down, you lose a whole day. Very true, but I've never had it go down. And like, if you've got it all written down in a diary and someone breaks into your van and steals your diary, you've lost your whole life.
When I broke my phone recently, my screen broke, and that meant I had to change my phone, and all of my messages for some reason were not saved to the SIM. They were saved to the storage of the phone, and I couldn't get any of them. And so I lost some of my contacts, and I lost all of my previous conversations with my customers. And so it's just a nightmare.
Does that not like make you want to?
It does. I'm busy.
Litigate the risk of business.
I'm a busy boy.
For 30 quid a month, you can litigate the risk of losing all your customers' information whilst also gaining all of that easy to access information to text them, call them.
Yeah.
All their phone numbers, addresses are all saved in there. You know.
Squeegee is glitchy.
I've never had a problem with Squeegee. I know some people that have, but I've never had a problem with it.
I feel like you're telling me off. I feel like I've done something naughty.
A little bit.
I mean, you're absolutely totally right, and I need to take it a little bit more seriously. I need to take a lot of things more seriously.
It's not. I don't think it's a case of taking it seriously. It's just, you're just leaving money on the table. You could grow your business 20% overnight just by implementing something that's 30 to 40 quid a month.
Yeah, I think you.
And like, if I said to you, "Give me 40 quid and I'll give you 400," would you buy it?
Yeah. Do you think you've learned all this from having your own businesses in the past? Do you think you've sort of made these mistakes in the past?
Yeah, it's years of experience that's helped me with this. So we had a CRM in our old business, and we were dealing with weddings, so you had to have that information. You had to know where you were going, what their name and address was. You had to have backup information, because if you lost their number and you weren't able to call them, it's like the biggest day of their life.
Yeah.
You don't just wait for them to call you. Then most of our average ticket price for a photo booth was like £400 to £500. So we used to take a £50 deposit when they booked in. Then the remainder would be paid 4 weeks before, but 8 weeks before we'd start contacting them to get it paid. So without that CRM, we just imagine the amount of admin it would take to contact every single person 8 weeks before, going through manually the bits of paper to find out where their booking was. If that bit of paper got put in the wrong order, you're potentially going to miss a job or not turn up because it's been moved into a different pile or something.
So at what point are you taking the customer's information? Are you taking it at the quoting stage? Are you requesting all their information at the quoting stage, or when you've landed the job?
So depends on how the quote comes in. So if it comes in via Facebook, where you've got their name and a way to contact them, you don't really need to take any information. Obviously, you're going to ask for their address anyway. Whether you quote in person or quote remotely, you need the address. So you've got their name, a way to contact them, and their address as minimum, regardless of which way they come in. I don't normally take but then if they text you or call you, you've got their number as well.
So where are you?
The information's there. I don't put it into the system unless they book in.
Right.
I don't hold on to quote information.
So that's a bit of that stage there is a little bit of a barrier for me. Is once I've requested their information and I've got everything I need, it's then not only putting that into. I mean, I suppose one of your systems will do that all for you, but I put it into my calendar, get them booked in. But then it would require me to put it into that system as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but that system is your calendar.
Yeah, so I'd need to transition from the calendar I'm using at the moment to a new one.
Yeah, so you just plug in what you've got booked in into the online one.
Yeah.
And then anything new that comes in, you just put it straight into the online one.
Yeah. It would definitely be infinitely better than what I'm doing at the moment.
And it just does all your accounting for you. So it keeps track of all the money you get coming in, whether they paid cash, card transfer, whatever it is.
Does it give you does it track your what's it called? Like analytics, to give you analytics?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's basically like I could send the information to my accountant and sign off my account at the end of the year. Minus the obviously expenses, but you can put expenses in if you want to go that deep into it. You can lodge all your expenses in there as well, and then you could just send that information to your accountant, and they've got all the information they need to sign off your account at the end of the year.
I mainly like the idea of just having all my customers' information that I can just access like that and send out mass texts or whatever. So just have one book.
Squeegee does do route planning as well. I don't use it for that because I know where I'm going, but I think it uses like AI to plan the best route
really
for your jobs. Yeah.
Bloody hell. Jake's tight, leave him alone. Having to write.
Someone's got to give him a hard time.
I use Cleaner Planner to adjust my diary, gives you the best route. I'll take a photo. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it there because I need to empty my bladder. And
I'm going to get off to bed anyway, so I'm going to love you and leave you as well.
Okay, mate. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, you're more than welcome. Just a quick reminder to anyone still watching, get over to cleaningawards.co.uk and enter. Just enter.
Enter now.
Just give me your information.
That's all it is. He wants your info.
That's exactly what it is. And then I'll be on your case about entering.
So we've got your YouTube channel, Kirbside Cleaning, and then we've got the Uncleanables podcast as well. Is there anywhere else people can find you? You're on Instagram and you're on Facebook as well?
Yeah, I'm more on Instagram than Facebook, but it's all
Kirbside Cleaning.
Everywhere. Yeah. There is an Instagram page for the Cleaning Awards. Not that I've put anything on that at the moment, but I set it up and they signed me out saying that I was a scam account, even though I literally made it 30 seconds earlier. So no. I'd send them an email. But no, it won't let me use Cleaning Awards as a tag name. So
because it's already been.
Because it's taken, but it's taken by me, and then they blocked me out of my account. So
frustrating.
Sorry for another time.
Thank you, mate.
But yeah, enter the awards, guys. That's the best advice I can give you today.
I'm going to do it.
Change your life.
I'm going to do it tomorrow morning.
I expect an entry from you, 100%.
I'm going to do it tomorrow morning.
There's a few people I know that I talk to regularly that aren't getting away with not entering. And just remember, if only 5 people enter, there'll be 5 winners, won't there? So
there you go.
Don't let people win by default. That's not really on, is it?
Good stream, guys. Cheers for the advice. Good stream. You've had lots of comments tonight saying about how people learn a lot from you, get some good advice from
How
you.
legendary I am.
You are, yeah. Thank you, mate. We'll do this again in the next couple of weeks or something.
And if you fancy ever taking a trip down to Essex, we can get you on the podcast. Actually, we might come see you.
Yeah?
We might. Yeah, we'll be doing a bit of travelling this year, but it's just busy at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, this is like peak season. Maybe towards the back end of September, October. Yeah.
We'll come see you.
Okay, mate.
We'll
awesome.
Bring all the gear. All right.
Thank you so much. That's I really appreciate your time. That's such a long time to devote to this. So thank you.
You're all good. I've enjoyed every second. All
right, mate. Have a good night.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you in a bit. How good was that, guys? That was brilliant, wasn't it? What a great person to learn from. He's so articulate and he's so knowledgeable. He's got so much experience. That was great. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to play a little advert now to end the stream. And have a fantastic evening. Thank you so much. See you in a bit. Now these videos take a lot of time and effort to film and edit on top of trying to run a successful pressure washing business. If you find any of the information in my videos useful, then I'd like for you to consider becoming a paid member of the channel. Circle members and above will get access to my private Discord for members only, where you can pretty much get a hold of me 24 hours a day for inspiration, technical help, marketing advice, or just a general chat. I post pictures and videos that you won't see on any of my other socials. You'll be the first to hear about giveaways, special offers and announcements, and it's just generally a nice place full of like-minded people who are all heading towards similar goals. We've got various different experience levels. We've got a few professionals in the chat as well. If you want to push your business, in my opinion, this is the place to be. We also have two other membership tiers. One is just to show a bit of support for the channel, and the other one is for boosted members, which will not only give you access to the private Discord, but also loads of high quality promotional images for you to start your business. I know what it's like when you're ready to get going, but you don't have any before and after pictures to put on your leaflets. At the moment, there's about 150 images that you can use for pretty much whatever you like, and my intention is to constantly update these over the next few years with all of my before and afters that have helped promote my business. Last thing before I let you go. New videos come out every Monday night at 5:30, and then I go live at 7:30 to chat to you guys and answer as many questions as possible. We do live quotes for real customers and just generally keep up to date with everything going on in the pressure washing world. Thanks for watching. Back to the video.